Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. And blurb. This Bin Podcast Network production is brought to you by our patrons, whose continued support keeps the lights on. So thank you, Ali, Dutch LeClaire Vert, and Tons of Mice. We love you forever. Tim, good morning.
Hi.
Welcome.
I am not dead.
You made it.
Despite what you've been hearing on the internet, I am alive.
Sorry I started those rumors, guys. I should really vet out my posts before I make them.
Now, Mikey, before we get into what I'm sure is just horrible nonsense.
Yes.
I have some banter for you.
Bands, you say?
Bands.
Hit me.
So I know that we both live in places that are very particular about their pizza.
Oh, fuck's sake. Here we
And
go.
listen,
Don't start with me, Tim.
I'm not going to turn this into a Chicago versus New York kind of thing.
Because you don't live there, number one.
I don't. Well, Chicago and New Haven, whatever. I'm close enough to New Haven, and the pizza's better in New Haven anyway. But
this is how it always starts. Sorry, everybody from the UK. These fools on the East Coast always want to argue about food.
I don't want to argue about food. I want to know, truly and sincerely, what's your favorite kind of pizza?
My personal favorite is St. Louis style pizza. It's very thin. It uses Provel cheese, and everybody across the country hates it. But I don't care.
What's Provel cheese? I don't think I've heard of that.
It's I think they made it in St. Louis. It's kind of like a mozzarella, but it's very salty.
Okay, so like a salty mozz.
Yeah, and it's not a big cheese pulling kind of thing. Here, I'll show you some of my city's famous pie.
Because I don't know, I was watching a few videos about like what's the best kind of pizza, and it's usually a debate between like.
There you go.
Okay, all right, with that pizza, what kind of toppings does you like?
Oh, pepperoni black olive.
Super salty.
And if I get bacon on that bitch too,
Triple salt.
woo! But yeah, this is and it's square cut.
Ah, so it's kind of like, because I know Chicago also has that like tavern style pizza,
Ah, here
where
we
it's
go.
the same thing where it's round pizza, but it's cut into squares.
The legendary Provel cheese is cheddar, Swiss, and provolone combined into one gooey, creamy, deliciously cheesy experience. Provel was originally invented in St. Louis back in 1947. Its origins are debated, however. It's theorized it was a convergence of old world Italian traditions and new world technology. Wherever its roots, it's now deeply ingrained into St. Louis culinary identity. Yeah, so we put that bitch on everything.
Okay,
'Tis a creation.
I would try it.
I mean, some people hate it. They're like, this is like a cracker. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but there's a lot of like super thin crust types of
It's
pizza.
like,
I
yeah,
mean,
if you
that's-
if you just break it down into thin bread equals cracker, okay, I guess.
yeah. I
But
mean, that's kind of what New Haven style pizza is too. Like it's very thin pizza. It's usually like straight up mozzarella, and it's got like a thin layer of tomato sauce.
and here's the good thing about I've always liked about emails, and it was shocking to me when I left my beloved city and started eating other people's so-called pizza. They put the full bacon strip on that bitch, and then
Oh,
the
wow.
cheese goes on top of that.
Oh,
So you get bacon on your pizza if you order bacon. You don't get no
it's not the,
bacon
it's not the
bits.
crumbles.
Yeah, you don't get bacon bits falling off of some bitch. You get your bacon that you paid
That's
for.
that's one of the things I don't like for most like pizza places is like they put like crumbles of bacon or crumbles
Yeah.
of sausage. I want like a whole slice of sausage
Yeah.
or at least like a piece of bacon. Like even if you just cut up the piece of bacon a little bit, don't dice it into crumbles. I want like actual bacon.
Is there a reason why sausage on pizza is always in crumbles, but then pepperoni, which is a sausage, is sliced and then placed upon? I'm like, just do it them both the same way. Why are you? Because you take one bite, or you take the first bite, and you're like, oh, that was so good. Then you go for the second bite, three quarters of the goddamn sausage is like, and now we roll to freedom, and they just jump off of the slice. It's just a bad design.
So for me, myself and,
Yeah.
and Mikey, if you could pull this up for me,
I can do that.
because I don't have screen screen powers, look up Frank Pepe's Pizza in New Haven. This is my favorite pizza. I know it's a little bit, super local, but uh, it's just the best pizza place in Connecticut, and I would say I haven't tried too many pizza places in New York City, and if there's anyone from New York City watching, I apologize, but
Don't
it's
apologize to them.
It's better than New York City pizza.
I could get jiggy with this shit.
Because it's like I said, it's super thin crust pizza.
Yeah.
It's cooked in a coal fire. And
Oh, Tim, I don't know about the coal, dude. Why are they using? It's coated
just-
with a layer of carcinogens. They could use, a gas range, maybe.
So I guess the lore in New Haven is there's a big debate between coal and gas fire stoves. Some of the pizza places use coal, some of the pizza places use gas.
Is that why you're coughing like that?
No, I'm coughing like this because I was dying from
Pizza.
not COVID, but
Pizza
something deadly.
Pizza exhaust.
Pizza exhaust. I still can't taste, so I haven't had pizza in like a week.
Oh boy. Did you get COVID again?
No, I tested negative. I think I got the flu, but whatever.
True to his humble roots, Frank Pepe's restaurant first sold just two types of a pizza.
Pizza.
A pizza. One with tomatoes with grated pecorino cheese,
Yeah.
garlic, oregano, and olive oil, and a second that also had anchovy.
Anchovy is not my favorite pizza topping, so I would not have eaten that pizza.
Imagine the look on my face when I realized that Caesar dressing, like the main ingredient, was anchovies. I was like, anchovies are so stupid. They're so dumb. And I went to like a nice restaurant on a date, and I got a Caesar salad, and there was like a little like a fried anchovy like as
Yeah.
like the dressing, as the garnish, and I was just like, oh, oh, I'm dumb. Damn, I've been
And
talking shit.
my favorite pizza toppings are salami and onion.
Oh, you're one of those
Yeah, I know Mikey can't have onion because he's some sort of like super
super
taster or
taster,
whatever.
man. Just blows
But
out my whole body. Like my eyes are watering, my ears are watering, my toenails are falling off. It's just too strong. Y'all just eat that
yeah.
shit. But I also have the cilantro gene.
Oh, does cilantro taste like soap to you?
Blue Dawn soap is what it tastes like.
Wow.
Not any of those funky ones, not Ajax. Blue Dawn soap.
Blue Dawn soap.
All right, let's
So what's going on in the news today, Mikey? Anything? I don't know if there's anything important going on right now.
I messed it up being funny.
You made it too big.
Yeah. Yeesh.
With the Dow drops 700 points, the Nasdaq enters correction as Trump ignites trade war.
Trade war, you
Live.
say?
Are people nervous? Yeah, they're nervous because of President Trump. We have to make sure.
Wait, we have to greet our guests. We have guests, Tim.
Oh yeah, we have a chat.
Hi, Jan. Hi, Gilly Dior. Hi, Billy. Hi, Scott. And Scott and Billy and Scott and Billy and Jan. Okay, here we go. Air horns for you all. That was for you
Damn.
guys. That was impressive. That was two-fingered.
We have two choices here, folks. We roll over as a country and just let them run over us, or we fight like hell, like we've never fought before. I'm taking option 2. I'm fighting like hell, and we're going to protect Canada. He's underestimating the Canadian people,
There we go.
the
I was like, what the hell?
resilience
My
of the
eyes are
Canadian
dirty.
people, and the strength of the Canadian people. I said, number 1, I don't start a tariff war, but we're going to win this tariff war. Right off the hop, I've directed the LCBO, we're the largest purchaser of alcohol in the world, to remove every bit of U.S. alcohol off the shelves.
That hurts.
Yeah,
That hurts. We make a lot of alcohol.
we do,
We drink a lot.
and the Canadians like it too.
I mean, and that's, I don't think he's going to get into it, but like even beer, a lot of the hops that a lot of these big companies use are, the hops are grown in Canada. Like, we get that
Yeah.
aluminum for the cans from Canada. Sorry, Maga, this is going to hit you right in the six-pack, buddy. I don't know how to tell you. Like, he's doing it on purpose, too. And why are we doing tariffs on Canada?
So the original idea was to get rid of income tax. The tariffs would replace income taxes. The story has shifted to we're tariffing these countries so they stop putting fentanyl in our country. I don't know how any of that works.
Are we going to deport the white U.S. citizens who are bringing it over the border for
Right,
cash from the
yeah.
cartel?
So
The
I
southern
think they
border.
said that like something like 1% of all the fentanyl that comes into the country is from Canada. Like,
So you put a
It's so-
25% tariff on them for that?
yeah, like they're already doing the best they can to stop the flow of fentanyl across the border.
Their border agents are pretty astute. Looks like a lot of shit's not getting through there anyway.
And you're right, most of the fentanyl that comes across the Canadian border is Americans trying to bring it in. So
Canada, you got a real problem stopping my fentanyl, people. We're gonna tariff you. Is she? Jan wants to know: is he saying Canadians are alcoholics? It's cold a lot of the year. You know,
it's
not a lot
cold up there.
Not a lot to do.
I'm not saying that Canadians are alcoholics. I'm just saying they like to drink. Not as much as Americans, I assume.
I was about to say, there's even if we did call them alcoholics, then what does that make us? Like,
Yeah.
we make more and drink twice as much. So, yeah.
I know my good friend, the governor of Kentucky, he's losing his mind right now. I said, you better talk to your president. Mitch McConnell, senior senator from Kentucky, they're losing their mind. We purchased over $1 billion of alcohol, 3,600 products, 35 states. It's going to hit them. We call them the kitchen table issues. Then we're going to cancel Starlinks right away from Elon Musk. Not that $100 million makes a difference for him, but it's principle. I've directed the procurement of
You hear that, Europe? It's the principle.
over $30 billion of goods, not to go to the U.S., to make sure we buy Ontario first. And
Hey, Billy says Trudeau has a speech. Can you see if you can grab it?
Yeah.
if we can't find it in Ontario and we can't build it in Ontario, we go across the country. I'm asking politely, until I implement it, every retail store, when you go look at the shelf talker that has the price, we need to see a Canadian flag on that price. A lot of people can't pick it up and scan it. So please.
Wow. That's gonna and see that's big in a very psychological way. Because when you go out there to the liquor aisle and you see that sea of Canadian flags, it's gonna make people feel pride when they buy something. They're gonna feel great about their purchase. And then if something does show up with like an American flag or any other kind of flag, it's just gonna not feel good. He's in grouping his own products. It's genius.
Please work with.
Yeah, here's the Trudeau speech, or part of it. It's an hour and a half long, so here's a clip.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll see if we can find clips.
Us, or we're going to legislate.
Or it's gonna be a long
it.
show.
I'll tell you this. Uranium for the U.S. comes from Saskatchewan. I've had deep conversations with my good friend, closest ally, Scott Moe, the Premier of Saskatchewan. That uranium goes over to Port Hope, Ontario to get processed. From Port Hope, it goes down to get enriched, down to the U.S.
Illinois.
I will not and cannot speak for Scott Moe.
I think Illinois has like 10 nuclear reactors. I knew there was a
I don't
couple
think-
not too far away from me, but there's a lot. We like our nukes.
Connecticut doesn't have any nuclear reactors. We have there's one in New York, 3 Mile Island, but I think that's the only one that's close to us.
No meltdowns yet, y'all, because it's the wrong kind of radiation.
He's a patriot. He loves Canada. But if we got to stockpile our high-grade nickel here in Ontario and sell it to the world, so be it. And as for uranium, I'll leave that up to Scott to decide. The potash that fertilizes all their farming communities. As President Trump is going after our dairy farmers, we're sending them fertilizer. 87% of it is going to the U.S.
Please don't.
And yeah, can they try to get potash everywhere else?
Yeah.
They can, but they can't get it up the Mississippi River.
God damn it, you're right.
So they're stuck with Canadian potash. Can they get uranium? Yeah, if they want to cozy up to Russia, which I see President Trump doing.
I was about to say, hold on now.
Yeah, Russia's got some of that.
I hope the uranium comes on, normal ships and not just like via rocket towards us.
You can try to get uranium there, but why would you do that? We want to ship more uranium, more potash, more nickel, more energy, and build an AMCAN fortress. I can't for the life of me figure out why this guy's attacking his closest neighbors, allies, and friend. A tariff on Canada is a tax on Americans. And I'm going to repeat.
Whoa, say it again. Say it again for the people in the back.
And friend, a tariff on Canada is a tax on Americans. And I'm going to repeat that on NBC, CNN, Fox News, CNBC. I'm going to be hammering the airwaves to get that message to the Americans. They're going to get hurt. It's the wrong decision. But if they want to try to annihilate Ontario, I will do everything, including cut off their energy, with a smile on my.
Oh.
Damn.
What are we doing right now?
Why are we the villains now, Mikey? What did
I don't
we do?
know what happened? I told my wife yesterday we went and talked to a lender to try to look to purchase something to get the hell out of this market because the renting market is crazy.
Yeah.
My rent's gone up $500 in 2 years, so
That is crazy.
I just have an extra $500 a month now. Good luck filling this place. But it's like, how do you think people are gonna take this, bruh? Not gonna go good.
Yeah, it's not going to go well.
My face. So, and I'm encouraging every other province to do the same. Quebec, Manitoba, BC. We all have to act in
BC.
unison out east. They rely on our energy. They need to feel the pain. They want to come at us hard. We're going to come back twice as hard.
About the Starlink deal.
Phrasing?
I don't want Canada coming at me hard.
Oh, yes, you do. Time for a maple surprise.
Why not cancel that right now? Given what the president, the display in the Oval Office, you've been a strong supporter of Ukraine. We know that there's been a problem with Starlink in Ukraine, and Mr. Musk, why not send a message right now to the Ukrainian people and to people in Canada and say this deal is done, we're not doing business with this guy?
I'm not going to start a tariff war. I'm not going to be the one that pokes the lion, per se. But I can assure you, he comes at us, he's going to get a rude awakening. We're unlike any other country.
He said, come at me, bro.
You know, we have 41 million people.
He said,
You don't want zero problems, big fella.
But we're powerful. We're powerful on energy. We're powerful on nuclear energy, on oil, on goods going back and forth across the border. We buy more off the United States than any other government in the world. And I always say, President Trump, you can't unscramble an egg. The supply chain's so intertwined. You just have to make a larger omelet. That's what you have to do. And we'll see how he moves on this. But we will respond, as sure as I'm standing here, tariff for tariff, dollar for dollar, and anything that I can do as a province, we're going to do.
It
wait.
sounds
go back.
sounds like
Our people know.
Canada's really pissed.
Like, at some point, someone's going to say, no, the emperor is wearing no clothes. Here, I'll show you. And then Canada just rolled a cactus at Trump and said, see, no clothes. See how he's jumping around from the spines? See how it's piercing through his skin? See that? That means he has no clothes on. Poll in the chat. Hello. And we have a new person. Hi, Gina. How you doing? But Canada, can you take a couple of states and add them as provinces, perhaps?
Yeah, just a couple.
I mean, just off the top of my head, Illinois.
New England.
Yo, you want
Just
all of
make-
New England?
Just make New England one province of Canada.
Can we just move them all to the Confederate states where they belong, and then they can stay down there, and we'll stay up here?
Yeah.
Oh, then
You
our
can probably
president,
have
Gavin
you can
Newsom.
probably have Minnesota too. I'm sure Mark would like that.
Mark's yelling at his phone right now. Me! Don't leave me! Sorry, Canada. Fuck. Oh, what's this?
We are following breaking news. All three major American stock markets have closed down for the day after President Trump took questions about tariffs going into effect tomorrow against Mexico and
That was
Canada.
yesterday.
And new tariffs
So
coming
the Dow
against
dropped another 700 points yesterday.
Yikes.
China. CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady joins us now in Studio 57 to talk about this. So, Kelly, let's be specific with what the tariffs are. 25% against all Mexican and Canadian imports, except 10% when it comes to Canadian energy. 10% additional tariffs on Chinese imports. So
They tried to carve out the energy. I'll give you a break on energy. Brother, you're not going to get it. What are you talking about?
now let's talk about what the markets did. The Dow down 700, S&P down 100, NASDAQ down almost 500. What's going on?
So if you pull up a chart of the Dow, okay, right around when President Trump started taking questions about tariffs this afternoon, you're going to see this. It went off a cliff. And in fact, we were actually down over 900 points when it comes to the Dow at one point today.
Damn.
So those numbers that you just mentioned, they're definitely extreme, but they aren't as bad as we were. Now, why? Markets have been trying to price in this question of tariffs. And I think what we heard today was President Trump saying, look, this is going to happen at 12:01. A lot of investors, a lot of companies were hoping, is this a negotiation tactic? Are we going to see an 11th hour deal like we saw a month ago, right? This was supposed to go back into effect at the beginning of February. But if you look particularly at the...
Look at these idiots up here smiling.
I know. What are they fucking so jolly about?
auto sector, Ford, GM, like Stellantis, they were all down significantly, over 2 to 3%, because these are the companies.
So for everybody working in a vehicle plant right now, you're welcome.
Yeah.
All
Good luck.
all you people at Ford and Daimler Chrysler, and we tried to warn you that this guy's no good for you. And these tariffs are going to make I think this might end a couple of I think we might lose Dodge or something like that, you know what I mean? Or like we're going to lose a couple brands because of this.
I mean, yeah, or they might consolidate some brands.
Yeah, someone's going to get bought by somebody else.
That have big plants in Mexico and Canada, and they're going to feel this as well as some of the retailers the most.
Okay, so there was a bit of a rebound, though, you said. This isn't sort of a...
Actually, that's a really good screenshot. I'll be just updating the thumbnail. Thank you very much.
day where to panic and say massive sell-off. That's not the headline necessarily.
Yeah, I would say it's somewhere in between, right? This was a big drop. And by the way, we are not far off of where we actually were before in terms of these indexes when the president won the election. So we've actually kind of lost a lot of those gains. So over the past couple of months, we've seen the market start to normalize. Today, we saw a big sell-off, but there's a lot of volatility. This isn't something where this has happened 5 days in a row, Lindsay. And that's where the analysts that I'm talking to are saying, yes, investors reacted poorly to the news today, but this is not something where we're entering a stock market crash yet.
What is the president?
And this is from last night. Let's see what they're saying this morning. Oh, there it is. Oh, nope, didn't rebound.
Nope, yep.
We've entered correct. What's correction, Tim?
So correction territory is whenever a stock market loses 10% of its value in like a year-to-date sort of thing. It's basically saying that stocks are overpriced, and 10% is a correction of that, saying, you know, the whatever, the shorts have taken some of the stocks and sort of reprice the market to where it should be, or closer to where it should be. If you go lower than 10%, then you're starting to head into like recession territory. So if you look at that little graph there,
Oh boy.
let's see. So the NASDAQ was at like 20,000.
20,000, 27.
So correction territory would be around 18,000.
We're at 18,175.
So that's the market saying, hey, we're not as excited as we were about the value of stocks. So we're readjusting what we think they should be. And any more than that, you're going to get into recession.
Oh, here.
Like 15-20% is like recession territory.
China retaliated, says CNBCnews.com. China retaliated with additional tariffs up to 15% on U.S. products. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said his country would also put a 25% levy on U.S. goods. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum said the U.S.'s southern neighbor might respond with tariffs and other tools that would be announced this weekend. Yep, GM and Ford are dropped more than 3% and 2% respectively. Oh man, Chipotle Chipotle, which sources about half of its avocados from Mexico, slipped more than 2%.
And the CEO of Chipotle came out and said that they will not pass on costs to consumers, but they don't know how long they can not do that. Like they will keep their prices where they are as long as they can, but if the trade war goes on for too long, they will have to raise prices. He basically said that like avocados and avocados and tomatoes and a few other things, they're gonna eat the cost on that for as long as they can, but they can't do it forever.
Why not? It's good for everybody for him to eat that cost. Sheesh.
We got a question in the chat. Questionable obscenity. So consumers will pay more taxes for goods they'll get from abroad, and those taxes will be spent on ? So consumers aren't paying taxes. Consumers are paying the carry down of the prices on the business tax of importing goods. Who knows what that money would that money be spent on anything? I don't even know. What are they going to do with all that? The 25% tariffs. No, Trump hasn't said where any of that money's going.
I mean, if they think that that's going to help them get to that $4 trillion, so that they can make those tax cuts permanent, it's just going to dry up in their hands. Like it's not going to go the way they think. Unquiet Badger, here you go. Oh, and air horns for person impersonator and questionable obscenity. There we go. Everybody gets an air horn. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Like if you haven't yet. It's free to subscribe, and if you change your mind, you could always unsubscribe.
Yeah. Poll says tax breaks, which is, that's the obvious answer. It's tax breaks for the wealthy.
Yeah.
It's tax breaks for Trump's friends. It's not tax breaks for you and me.
Yeah, we're not going to see any of this. We are going to see. We will see our taxes go up, and we will see prices balloon to an unsustainable level. But jeez, dude. Oh, can we look at a day?
This is an episode I really wish we had Irish Swede, because I don't know some of the answers to these questions. Can the U.S. handle a recession because of its size? Info from different bias, says Billy. The last recession was pretty awful.
Yeah.
The 2008-2010 one, that was pretty bad. I don't know. It depends on how much fucking of our economy Trump is going to do.
And even if it takes like 18 months or 2 years or something for us to crawl ourselves out of it, put yourself in the position of a young person just graduating from high school, maybe, and trying to, establish themselves, purchase a home, pay for their school and stuff like that. That becomes impossible. Like when I first, my life sucks. When I finally got my own car. That's when we stopped doing trade with Colombia or whatever for the oil. And then the gas spiked for the first time, and it was like $4 a gallon. Yeah, that was like the week after I got my van.
Oh my God.
So my van, like the first time I filled it up was like an entire paycheck. Like I was just so bereft. I was like, why would they do this now? And then as soon as I went to go like get my own place, the housing bubble burst, and I was like, what the fuck? Why does this keep happening to me? It puts real hurdles and barriers in front of people who are trying to ascend up the economic ladder, because it's just the ladder just got 75 extra rungs just as you're about to reach the top. You know what I mean? Like it puts things further out of reach. It takes longer to accomplish some of these financial goals that a lot of people are trying to accomplish. In their regular, like I think the median age for like first time home buyers is like 37.
Yeah, it's close to that.
35 or 37 or something like that. So it's not like, high school sweethearts go to college and then they go buy a house. Like that's not happening. They can't afford it. It costs too much. I was talking to my neighbor, and he's his dad back in the 40s bought a 3-flat bungalow with like a basement apartment, a main floor, and then an upstairs for $15,000. The bank wouldn't even give him a 30-year mortgage on it because it's not worth it. It doesn't cost that much. So he had it on a 10-year and he paid it off. And it's just like, I don't know, like that is never going to happen again here. Never. And this is and things like this are why. Upsetting the apple cart just so that you can grift people is not a good look. And it's completely unsustainable.
Go back to that tab there for a second. I don't know if you noticed the little breaking news thing at the top there, but it says the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has dropped its lawsuit against J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo over fraud. Because the CFPB is being shuttered by fucking Elon Musk. And so they're dropping all these lawsuits that they had against these banks who were trying to fucking scam people out of shit.
Since acting director Russell Vought has taken over for CFPB, the agency has dropped at least half a dozen cases brought by his predecessor Rohit Chopra. In December, the CFPB sued Early Warning Services, which runs the peer-to-peer payment network, as well as J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo, alleging that the firms failed to properly investigate fraud complaints or give victims reimbursement. So when you say, hey, this motherfucker cheated, they're just like, no, he didn't. Nope, no, he didn't.
Yeah. They'd be like, oh, no, they're fine, whatever.
Yeah, we'll look into it. And then they just, like, never say anything. Wow. The CFPB said customers of these 3 banks have lost more than $870 million since the launch of Zelle in 2017. The service was launched to provide bank customers an alternative to peer-to-peer platforms, including PayPal. Last year, Zelle crossed $1 trillion in total volumes, which is said was the most ever for a peer-to-peer platform.
And that's why I don't use Zelle.
Exactly. Because if I send you $100 on Zelle and you say I never got it, and then I say, hey, I sent that guy $100 and he never got it, they're like, tough turds. Like, what the fuck?
They're like, we got it.
Yeah, well, it's been received, brother. Somebody got it. Looks like we're gonna go back to the goats and chickens for monetary compensation.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, so we gotta address the elephant in the room. This happened on Friday. We did our last show on Thursday. So I did a show on Friday with Bowler Hatman, aka Ali, and a bunch of you guys were there, and everyone showed up, and it was terrible for us. But it was fun to talk with all of you guys, and we haven't actually covered it on the Bin Network. So Tim says we have to watch this.
We have to watch it.
He's making me do it.
We watch it.
Say, oh, you think you about that? You think it's a game?
Big Shan.
Message for them.
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal? That doesn't work that way.
Yeah. You called this asshole, you called Zelensky a dictator. And then you had a brain fart and you said, I said that? Me?
I don't remember saying that.
I don't even remember saying that.
I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with...
Wrong answer.
Well, there's a lot of people that he is aligned with, and it's not the good people.
He's your ally in the fucking room with you. He's like, I'm not aligned with anybody. Bro, I can hear you. Like, what are you saying?
The United States
here.
He's right next to you.
Of America, and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world.
That's why I'm
with the world.
That's why I'm tariffing everybody.
Trump out there saying he's true neutral.
Get your chaotic evil ass out of here.
And I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to...
Look at his eyebrows. He said, what?
He was like, you what? Hatred? Yeah, hatred. He wants to kill me.
Make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand...
Yo, Zelensky is the best, bro. He is the low key goat of politics because he is taking all of this in stride, and like if you're paying attention, you can see his reactions and understand what he's going through. But Trump's so dumb and JD's so dumb they can't pick up on it because they don't have human skills.
His facial expressions are the best.
Understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with.
Oh, Billy asks, are general consumer rights under threat? Yes.
Yes.
They've been mostly absolved at this point, it looks like. I mean, we still have FDIC, but who knows how long.
Now.
Who knows when they're going to get rid of that? And they're like, oh, I just closed the bank because we're moving to Russia. Sorry. Thanks for the money.
Him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I can.
Oh, and some context for all of this. You know this asshole wants a fucking Nobel Peace Prize.
Let me tell you something about Trump's desire, his need, his obsession with getting a Nobel Peace Prize. Wait, I keep referencing this book that I've read. It's called The Divider. It's the book about Trump's first term. He has always wanted a Nobel Peace Prize. It's like one of his goals in life.
It's on his aspiration board.
Yeah, it's on his vision board, and
vision board. Damn it.
During his first term, in like the first couple of years, I forget what it was for. He wanted to be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, so he asked Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe to nominate him.
R.I.P.
Shinzo Abe did because he thought he was doing Trump a nice thing. So he wrote a letter to the Nobel Committee nominating Trump for the Peace Prize, and Trump loved the shit out of it. He loved it so much, and he was so furious when he did not win the Nobel Peace Prize. It's something he's always wanted.
So now Zelensky's in the way of his damn prize.
He thinks the Nobel Prize Committee hates him because they gave Obama a Nobel Peace Prize, but not him. When Obama did shit to earn that shit, and all Trump has ever, he thought that making peace with North Korea was going to get him a Nobel Peace Prize.
But he couldn't even do that because he couldn't stop fucking twittering back and forth with him talking shit. Like,
yeah, well, he thought it earned him a Nobel Peace Prize. The summit that he had with Kim Jong-un.
He went over there, right?
Yeah, and it fell apart almost immediately.
Yeah, he had to like leave early and shit like that. Like,
but
he got called a dotard. Dotard Trump. That's his name. Dotard. I forgot. I'm not calling him Donald anymore. President Dotard.
I'd be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough, but you're never going to.
Oh my God, Zelensky is killing me right now. Now that I've watched this about 40 times, it's so good to watch. I'm only watching Zelensky at this point.
I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough.
What?
But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences.
Why are you talking?
Why is he there?
Go color your beard in privacy. Get out of here.
He has he's the vice president. He doesn't belong in that office.
Just go play in the Senate.
He should be somewhere else, anywhere else. J.D. Vance, you're vice president of the United States. Your only job is to be alive. Go be somewhere else.
Shouldn't he be settling a tie break somewhere?
Shouldn't he be like fucking championing some sort of cause? That's what vice presidents usually do.
Like first ladies.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
go spread apples or something.
Honestly, they should have made the first lady the vice president and have them tie break votes in the Senate. It'd be one less person wandering around the Oval Office.
Or the first gentleman.
and talk tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country, the path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy.
All right. I've seen this a bunch of times too. Let's see where that gets you, JD.
Says the guy who's been in government for 2 years.
We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country...
Oh, and while this is going on, Russia is actively drone striking the Ukraine. Actively.
Oh, yeah. Super hard.
That day, that Friday morning, they were getting drone struck.
Is America engaging in...
But diplomacy, right.
Diplomacy, that's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him.
All right,
but during 20...
So Zelensky is trying to make the point that every American president from 2014 until just this moment has been fairly neutral in the Ukraine war since 2014. Obama said there was a red line. Putin crossed it. Obama did nothing. Trump said that, whatever he said in the first term about Trump glad-handed Putin the entire first term.
He said he had a perfect phone call.
Yeah,
remember? That's how he dealt with it. He had a perfect phone call where he said, if you don't get me that motherfucker's laptop and make some bullshit up so I can, smear my political rivals, you're fucking on your own.
Oh, yes.
The perfect phone call.
I remember that from the book.
And did Zelensky bring that up? No. He let it go?
No.
He let it go?
No. But he also said that, Trump said that he would do something and he didn't do it.
Well, you didn't fucking grab Hunter Biden's laptop for me, so fuck you, is what he said.
And then when Biden was president, Russia invaded Ukraine. And the U.S. dragged its feet for a long time on what kind of support they would give. So, Ukraine has not been well treated by America since 2014.
Did you know, Tim, that back in the 80s, Ukraine had 1,900 nuclear warheads?
Oh, yes, and they had to give them all up.
And why did they give them up, Tim?
For peace?
Because we said we would protect them.
Yep.
Because we said we will help you guard your border, but you have to denuclearize. It's too dangerous with all these nukes going around. We don't want you guys, we don't want everybody blowing each other up. Let's just denuke you and we got your back. That's what we said. And this is what we're doing. If they had, 1,000 nukes sitting around, Russia would be very timid about just barging into the place. But we disarmed them. They wouldn't need our help if we hadn't disarmed them.
Yeah.
We got some new people in the chat. I think I said hi. Unquiet Badger. If you guys want an air horn, you know what you got to do. You got to say hi. Tim Ballum. Howdy.
2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah.
No one asked.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me, guys.
That's why he said Obama first, dumbass. Pay attention.
He's so dumb.
Just pay attention. He's trying, but he can't.
2014.
Why is his tie so long? Look at that thing.
I don't know, man.
It's like 3 flags worth of fabric. And then here's JD I'm just like Dada. Dumbass.
2014 and 2015.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was,
he killed.
I was not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly
but-
right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it.
How disrespectful.
Yeah, how disrespectful for Zelensky to tell the president and the vice president the facts of the matter.
Like, they should have known all that. Like, this is why you get briefed.
Trump doesn't get briefed.
No.
He doesn't.
No. It just makes him tired.
He doesn't read. If he gets briefed, it's in like a audio clip or a video or something, or they like do a puppet show for him. But
sock puppets.
the dude doesn't read his briefing materials, and I think in the first administration they gave up like halfway through. Like, he's never going to read any of this. We'll just hand signal it to him.
Lamb chop and hush puppy.
Yeah. Like,
What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr.
are
President,
not
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around.
How dare you fact check me? How dare you bring up diplomacy when, oh, what's that? I've been trying it for the last 11 years and this guy won't listen. 11 years, this guy won't listen.
they don't know what diplomacy is. In the first administration and in this one, he's gutted the State Department.
Yeah.
They got rid of the diplomats.
Whose hair is right in the shot?
I don't know.
It looks kind of greasy. Maybe it's Hegseth.
I know all the way on the end of the couch is Rubio, but Rubio's got short hair, I think.
It's like,
and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have
Like a
manpower
Rubio.
problems. You
Oh,
should
there he
be
is, trying
thanking
to
the
sink
president
into
for
the
trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories.
Have you ever been to Ukraine, Mr. Vice President? I've seen stuff.
hey,
You don't know.
I have YouTube Premium. I watched No Reservations when Anthony Bourdain went over there. I watched that.
I watch Vice.
Yeah. But even if he would have watched something like Vice, like all of the media coming out of there about this conflict, it's very explanatory about what's happening. How did you watch anything about Ukraine? Is like, oh, so they tricked Russia into invading them, and that's why Russia's there. Like, what are you talking about, dude? How have you watched anything and saw a Russian tank on Ukrainian soil and be like, that's Ukraine's fault?
Yeah.
What did you watch? Please post the link, JD.
And I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree?
On a propaganda tour. This is your ally, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Agree that you've had
You're
problems
an ally.
bringing people into your military?
We have
And
problems.
do you think that it's
I will
respectful
answer.
to come to the Oval Office
I
of the
will
United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to
Trump has gone full catfish mouth.
to come to the Oval Office
I
of the
will
United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't know
God
that.
bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate.
No one's talking to you, Dotard.
Yeah. Nobody's fucking talking to you. I like how Zelensky was like, Yeah, no, you guys are okay because you're an ocean away, but it's not going to last forever.
Which is true.
Dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
That background hiss is part of the clip. Sorry.
Influence.
We're going to feel very good and very
You
strong.
will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the
bad
very
position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I
You
was
don't have
in
the cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards. But
cards.
right now, you don't.
That's, dude, he needs to run again and just be like, I'm President Zelensky and I'm running for office and I'm not playing cards. There you go. That's it. That's it. Steven. Hello.
Very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
What do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this.
Have you said, why does he need to say thank you? What have you given him?
JD Vance voted against the Ukraine aid bill in his 2 years in the fucking Senate. Trump said, I'm cutting off support to Ukraine unless you help me dig up dirt on the Bidens. These specific motherfuckers have done nothing to be thanked for.
And here's the crazy part. So following the timeline of the day, after this meeting, they were supposed to have a lunch and then sign that rare
Mineral
earth
deal.
materials. What is he supposed to thank Trump for? Taking his country's resources in the exchange for maybe security? Like, that's the whole reason he's there, is to sign that deal in exchange for the promise of security that Trump is not going to give him.
Well,
So what is he
we didn't get a
supposed to thank
chance,
him for?
and this is the cop out. That's why I know that this was set up and this was a whole thing. He didn't sign we didn't get the protection deal for Ukraine because Zelensky just stormed out of the White House. That's the narrative that they want to spin. His ungrateful ass, we had to throw him out. Like that's the narrative that they want to spin. If you just know history, which is not hard, you could probably learn about this struggle in an afternoon on the internet. Watch a couple history videos, maybe a Vox piece, maybe some Anthony Bourdain or something like you can pick up what has been going on this whole time. Apparently they didn't do that before this meeting, or they knew exactly what was going on and they're doing this intentionally. Because what do you know? There's no mineral deal, and that was the whole point.
And really, Zelensky got bullied into the minerals deal because that was the only way America was going to help him.
Yeah.
So why does he have to thank America for extorting his country's natural resources so that he can just get further invaded by fucking Russia? Like, Trump wasn't going to guarantee anything in this meeting. I sure he's not going to guarantee anything in that agreement.
So who actually has the cards? Who actually has the leverage?
It's Putin. This is all to Putin's benefit.
The entire meeting, have you said thank you?
Today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October.
And there you go. And there you go. You campaigned with the opposition. Bro, you won. He has to say what's up. He has to say, he has to say whatever he has to say to everybody. He's a president at war. He has to kiss ass to everybody. He's trying to kiss your ass, but you're yelling at him.
Right. He's being like, honestly, if Zelensky wasn't very diplomatic, he would have been yelling at them the entire time.
Yeah.
Saying, you tried to fucking extort me the first time around, and now you're trying to extort me again.
And you got this little bearded goon over here acting like he's...
Well, let me just say that I have not talked
on camera for several weeks, and I'm going to make a big scene about it.
Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
No, he's trying to give away your country. There's a difference.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No, you've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid president, $350 billion.
So when he's explaining when he said thank you, Dum Dum has not even heard it because his brain is already off the rails.
I know. He doesn't. There's a certain point where I don't think Trump fucking hears anything anymore. He's just thinking about what he's going to yell next at Zelensky.
Yeah.
Of the war, we've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military.
Okay. No, he didn't. It wasn't $350 billion worth of anything.
Yeah.
It's like 119 is the actual number, and I think 67 was 67 of that was old weapons that we had laying around that we sold to them or gave to them as opposed to selling. But guess what? The American government paid the weapons manufacturers for their product.
Yeah.
Did he tell you? Did they tell you that shit went into the weapons contractors? Who'd they pay the money to? They didn't give the money to Ukraine. They gave weapons to the Ukraine, and they gave money to the weapons manufacturers. So he should be grateful that the weapons manufacturers got a way to empty out all of their old inventory that nobody wanted anymore, and that they got to have new competitions to see what the next service weapon, next grenade launcher, next RPG, the next lock-on vehicle. Like, we got rid of all that shit so we could get XM4s and the Jokers and all that. That's why. So don't pretend like you just sent a blank check. What the fuck are they going to do with money in a war? They need the actual weapons, and we're the ones that gave them the weapon. Like, we can't just give them money and then that just solved the problem. Dumb.
Military equipment. You men are brave, but they had to use our military.
Yes. What about
if you didn't have our military equipment, if you didn't have our military equipment, this war.
Good point. You invited me to speak, and then you say don't talk.
Have our military equipment.
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days.
I love
in
that.
3 days, I heard it from Putin.
And
he couldn't get the job done.
This is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks. Of course he has.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of times thank you to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're.
That is such a fucking stepmom fucking comment.
Oh my god.
Ugh. How'd your skiing trip
fight.
go?
Let's not fight in front of a whole family. Why don't you and I go in another room where I can yell at you there?
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on over there.
sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful.
His eyebrows are my favorite.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
Thankful.
You're buried there.
He just said it.
He just said it.
He just said it.
He said it like 4 times already.
But he just said it. So is he going to freak out and calm down? No. He just said it. Let me turn it up. Enhance.
You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
Thankful.
You're
There you go.
buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running low
I
on
know.
soldiers.
Don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a
Oh, man.
ceasefire.
That
I
man
want to go
is
and I want this.
holding back rage.
Look, if you could get a ceasefire.
He wants a ceasefire with protections because they break all the ceasefires. He just laid out all the ceasefires that Putin has broken. He just told you. He just told you.
Right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop.
There aren't bullets, you asshole. It's drones and tanks, stupid, and artillery fire.
He still thinks everything happened like it happens in World War II.
And now on the Eastern Front. Like, what the fuck? This guy's so dumb.
Getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me.
For you what,
that wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden who was not a smart person.
That was with
Obama.
President. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
Why did you give him javelins?
Yeah. Well, what did he have to do to get those javelins?
I mean, why do you need javelins if you're in your own country?
Yeah.
Not being invaded. But you'd only need javelins if Russia had invaded your country. How does he not understand that he's stepping on his own long tie without realizing it? Like, dude, you sent him weapons because Russia was invading, and then you say, why are you mad at Russia? Why did you send him javelins then?
Right. I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you...
Right. Tanks. Tanks. He sent
tanks.
Not fucking parades. Tanks. He didn't send flower vans. Tanks.
They didn't just like stick a flag in the ground and was like, we now own this.
Like Marvin the Martian.
Everyone was like, okay. Yeah, like...
I claim this land for Mars.
Sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful.
Yeah, he did.
Because let me tell you, you.
Oh, here comes the full brain melt. Like you can probably see a little come out of his ears now. Trump is completely off the reservation and he has no idea what he's talking about. Starting now.
You don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry, here.
It's going to be a tough deal to make. Because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia...
There's a slight lip snarl there. I like to watch microflections of people's faces.
Attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks
there it was.
Ceasefire?
A little snarl. That's rage.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay?
That would be bad.
What the fuck is he talking about? He's acting like Putin going back on a ceasefire agreement is like, oh, maybe there's a crazy outside chance that might happen, but it's insane to think that.
It's like a tornado or a hurricane, Tim. It's natural causes. Sometimes people just invade you. Natural causes. An act of God. How could anyone have predicted this?
He's like, how'd the moon get there? You don't know.
Tides come in, tides come out.
What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama.
And you.
They respect me.
Trump. Nope.
Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot, Mama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt with a...
Here's the brain melt. I was a little early. Here it is.
Used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom.
Bro, I'm not trying to hear nothing from Maga no more. Get your mans. He needs to go to a home. Like, I know Biden shouldn't have run and all that shit. I was the main one pissed off about him running again. But you got to get your mans. Diz, what's up? Oh, block my button.
I honestly, if this was any other president, any president, including Biden, the 25th Amendment would have been invoked as soon as this thing ended. They would have gotten together, would have been like, well, he's not saying anymore. Time to get rid of that guy.
Right. 25th Amendment time.
It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia.
Mineral deal. He's there for a mineral deal.
Yeah, he doesn't care about your bullshit.
The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff.
He didn't give a shit.
Yeah, the dude does not care.
He didn't care about none of that.
All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered
I know nothing. Nothing.
Hi, Ollie.
you to be a tough
look
guy.
on Zelensky's face is him not wanting to be there anymore.
How do I get out of here? Where did I park?
The problem is,
Do they validate parking? Maybe they don't.
I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out.
What did he just say to him? How dare you? How dare you?
He thanked him again.
United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And
Come on, y'all. I'm crazy or is it? Okay.
if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that.
Oh, yeah, great television. Thank you. Thank you, host of the new reality TV show, America, Donald Trump.
Season finale.
Season finale.
All right. We'll see what we can do about putting it together.
And look at little smarmy JD with his fucking dyed beard and his eyeliner on.
How can one have a beard and a baby face at the same time?
Haley Joel Osment does a great job on SNL doing him. It's so good. So good. Impersonator says it's not great television. It was painful to watch. Yes.
It was.
Like,
I watched it live, and the news anchor who was on at the time, when it went back to him, he was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Hey, do we have a button for that?
Oh.
The wow.
Wait. Wow.
Yeah.
It's quiet, and there's so much background noise I couldn't get it.
Wait a minute.
Oh, unbelievable.
Guys, come on, let's go. We'll see. I don't know.
All right, guys, come on. Wait, hey, come on. Guys, come on, let's move, please.
You did great, Dad. You did great, Dad. You did a really good job, Dad.
Thank you, son.
So we're not going to get to see it in this video because the person is on the other side of the camera. But the Ukrainian ambassador to America was there. And she was head in hands regretting her day.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to see a lot of little Marco over there, but he was trying to disappear into that couch.
He's like, I
because
should have
he's
wore
Secretary
a tan
of
suit.
State.
Should have wore a tan suit. They'd never see me. And we also didn't get to see.
I think it's a really major mistake and an insult to me.
Marjorie Taylor Greene's used car salesman husband standing up there asking, "Why aren't you wearing a suit?"
Oh yeah, why are you wearing a suit? Shouldn't you be wearing a suit? Do you even own a suit? And Zelensky's like, bro, the fuck.
First of all, how'd you get in here? And also at this press conference, whatever we want to call it, TASS News was there, which is a Russian state-owned media source. Somehow they got clearance to be into Trump's hand-selected media pool, and somehow they were able to sneak in and grab photos.
And somehow the Associated Press and Reuters were kept out.
Oh, Ali says, if Rubio was to wear a tan suit sitting on that couch next to JD, his virginity might be in danger. Take your horns. Sold his soul in that minute. Yeah. Discourse. And then they just abruptly kicked everybody out of there.
By the way, that wasn't supposed to be anything. That was supposed to be like a 30-second, like, press little one question, and then we go on to our lunch sort of thing. And Trump and JD intentionally blew it up. Intentionally. Because they didn't like one thing that Zelensky said. That he was trying to explain to them, hey, my country has been under attack since 2014, and America has sandbagged me every step of the way.
Intentionally.
And it doesn't matter who the president was. That's what he was trying to say. It doesn't matter who the president was at the time or is the president now. Ukraine has always been sandbagged by America. And now I'm trying to get things right, and I don't know if it's going to work out. That's all he was trying to say. But Trump didn't want to hear it.
He's literally like, hey, you know he breaks all of our deals, right?
Yeah.
So can we like put something in there for when he breaks the deal, not if, just when he breaks this? All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, I love the Majority Report. I love Emma Vigeland. I love Sam Cedar.
They're calling her Rhino Taylor Greene.
So good. We're going to talk a little bit more about money, but old people money. We're going to talk about Social Security here. Sam is like an encyclopedia for Social Security. So instead of me trying to muddle through all of this stuff, I figured it's time for us to go on over to the Majority Tube. And we're not going to watch the whole thing, obviously. It's 38 minutes. But actually, if you want... Well, you guys know where they are. I will say I'll drop the link, but you guys know where they are. Rogan, esteemed financial guru, and Elon...
the Joe Rogan?
Rogan, Joseph Rogan, and Elon Musk decided to have an idiot contest. And that's probably the best name for this. This is all about Social Security and how they're gutting Social Security without having, well, how the government's doing it, without any knowledge of how it actually works.
Speaking of scams, let's check in on Joe Rogan hosting his, I don't know, fourth tech billionaire of the month. Well, it's like Andreessen, he's had all of them on, right? Sachs, Andreessen,
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg. Did Peter Thiel show up, or is he too shy?
We should call him Nation State Media from now on.
Thiel was just on Rubin.
Exactly.
I forced myself to watch that.
It is,
Let's get to the clip here.
Probably by 30 years at least. It is one of the largest expenditures that our government is involved in. Now, it is self-funding. Taxes go directly to Social Security. They fund Social Security. There's been so much written about Social Security over the past 90 years. So much written by Republicans, because they have been attacking Social Security since 1936. I think it was the 1936 Republican platform where they attacked Social Security as a scheme that is unsustainable and as communism. What Joe Rogan is participating now is just out and out Republican propaganda.
Yep.
It is not new or hip or fresh. It doesn't require the world's greatest mind to figure out.
Unafraid.
It's not like George Bush said this stuff. Like Bob Dole said this stuff. Like,
where's Bob Dole at these days?
Dead.
Oh.
I think.
Do we know?
I'll check.
The most banal Republican politicians ever have said exactly what Elon Musk is about to say. The most pea-brained people in the world, like, you know, like, this is so...
Yeah, he's dead.
When did he die?
2021. He was 98.
Didn't even make the news.
Exceptional. And the only thing that's amazing about it is that someone with who gets millions of views on YouTube or Spotify or whatever it is, wouldn't know the least bit about what they're talking about to even attempt to go and find out. So here's Elon Musk lying about Social Security. Now remember, they have begun their assault on the Social Security Administration. They have shut down field offices. They are firing people. This is Americans. I think it's the most beloved government program. 60, 70, 80% of people are in favor of Social Security. I think even for expanding it.
Keeps 2/3 of our seniors out of poverty.
2/3 of our seniors out of poverty. It also helps orphans and widowers and widows. Here is Elon Musk. Now, remember, the way that they're going to go after Social Security is first, they're going to try and sever the relationship with Americans to it. And there's two ways they do it. One is they attack the Social Security Administration, make it harder for people to get their checks. And two is to say, like, it's about to fall apart. This is George Bush going down to the bottom of Treasury, holding up a piece of paper and going, look, nothing but IOUs here. This is so banal and stupid. But here it is, Elon Musk.
The weird one is the pump and dumps. Like
so this is a bonus. This is a bonus.
Does Joe Rogan even know what a pump and dump is?
No, and he's gonna ask Elon about it and watch Elon get uncomfortable. Like, this is actually pretty funny.
People happen all the time. All the time. Yeah. And people get shocked that somebody pump and dumped. Like, what is? Yeah, what are you
President
doing?
Trump.
Did you like? I was hoping to dump. I was hoping to make all the money out of this. I can't believe they got me. Like, yeah. It's just weird that it's legal still.
Okay, they're talking about, I think, like meme coins, right? Is that what they're talking about here?
Yeah, like
now,
Trump and Melania.
It is weird that it's legal.
Yeah.
Because it's illegal to do it with stocks. And to the extent that these crypto guys want to bring this into the fold, guys like Gary Gensler and other regulators wanted to bring it within a regulatory framework.
Oh, yeah. Scott said, watch Sam Cedar on Pierce clip against Maga loons. Made them all look like as thick as mints. Dude, I need to find that. I have to find that. I can't stomach Pierce Morgan. Like, that BBC both sidesism bullshit drives me crazy. Like, I can never make it through the fucking, like, opening monologue without turning it off. Like, he pisses me off so quickly. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
To protect people from it. But the guy sitting across from Joe Rogan, as he says, it's weird, it's not. It's like literally staring at the reason why.
Right.
It's not illegal. Like, all of the people that you've hosted on your show, not only could they have told you why it's not illegal now, they were the reason for it.
Donald Trump announced
they bought their election.
Yes.
They bought Sherrod Brown's seat in Ohio. I mean, the crypto boy, he's so very close to knowing the answer, but it's so So far away.
The Melania coin was a pump and dump that was created on January 19th, the day before the election. And you know who was behind that
inauguration?
Same coin? The same guys that were behind the Javier Milei pump and dump as a part of the using his platform as the leader of Argentina to make a bunch of money for a few wealthy people by announcing it publicly, right? So this is the kind of thing that they're trying to copy for the federal government. And then he's claiming, like, it's Musk and those guys and Andreessen, et cetera.
In fact,
Trump just
there was a pump and dump yesterday that happened when Donald Trump tweeted out, "You should buy David Sachs's ETF of 5 crypto coins." He had David Sachs on too, didn't he? Okay, good.
It's just weird that it's legal.
Yeah.
Does crypto mean undead coining in cash? Yes.
So weird.
I mean, casinos are illegal.
Yeah,
and
it is
people
like a
just
casino.
lose money at casinos.
Yeah,
you know?
but you can't rig a casino.
Pause
like
it.
a
You know
pump
what's
and dump.
amazing about that is that like Rogan doesn't realize he's making Musk uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because Musk knows exactly why it's not illegal. In fact, he just spent hundreds of millions of dollars to get Donald Trump elected. There were hundreds of millions of dollars spent by crypto people to make sure that it's not illegal. So he talks about casinos. Actually, you know, there's regulations in casinos too. Just go back a little bit.
It's pretty actually strict of when you can build a casino.
Right.
I mean, casinos are illegal.
Yeah,
and
it is
people
like a
just
casino.
lose money at casinos.
Yeah, but you can't rig a casino like a pump and dump. You could rig a pump and dump. You know?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, I'm sorry, really quick. Don't take it down, but the house always wins is a phrase about the casino. So, okay, keep going.
Well, yeah, but at least you know that going in. Like you can read what the odds are. We know that craps are, 49% or whatever it is. But what's amazing here is that, like, literally, it would be like Rogan sitting across from this guy. Keep it up. Rogan sitting across from this guy going like, who's making all these Teslas?
Yeah.
That's the line I wanted from the funny bit. It's like, he's like, if only we could figure out who is making all these like electric cars that start with the letter T. I can't think of it. But man, they're just everywhere. I wonder if that guy's around.
Driving cars all over the place. Shouldn't be
Elon
legal.
Musk is just sitting there going like, oh, how can I change the subject from this?
There's a Daytona 500.
Does he know that? Like, Musk is like thinking to himself, is Rogan this stupid or is he playing with me? And he's about to find out, oh no, he's this stupid. Let me distract you. This is like literally like, honestly, what you do with like a 3-year-old child. I want that candy. Oh, look it over there. It's a birdie. Can you see the birdie? Birdie? Go ahead.
Like you could run a real pyramid scheme.
Well, I mean, the government's one big pyramid scheme, if you ask me.
Yeah, well.
Change the topic.
Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
Uh-oh. You've triggered Sam.
Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
Sam is triggered. He's about to get him.
Right, explain that.
Oh, so when people pay into Social Security, and the money goes out of Social Security immediately, but the obligation for Social Security is your entire retirement career. So you're.
What is he talking about?
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
What's your retirement career?
He means that. Well, he thinks of everything in terms of career, but he means that after you retire, Social Security is supposed to support you the rest of your life. He says career because he doesn't know other words.
Social Security is your entire retirement career. So you're paying with
retirement career?
You're paying like if you look at the future obligations of Social Security, it far exceeds the tax revenue.
Mikey, would you like to know why?
Why?
Would you like to know why? Because there's a cap on income for Social Security.
Well, that sounds bad.
Which means that after a certain amount of income, you no longer get taxed on Social Security. Which means that rich people aren't paying enough into the system. So Elon fucking Musk over there isn't paying enough into Social Security, even though he's going to get it.
D. Waiting says he knows what he's saying. He's trying to manipulate people into think they should be thinking of their retirement as a career, and that you should be still be working.
Probably.
I mean, it says retirement right there.
What's the retirement age for us at this point? What, 77?
900.
75? Like, Social Security is going bankrupt because for two reasons. There's a cap on Social Security on income, and Congress has continually stole money from Social Security to pay for other shit.
Yep.
That's why. It should have been left alone. If Social Security was left alone and the tax on Social Security was proper, then it would still be maintaining itself.
Have you ever looked at the...
Okay, pause it. I need to stop you here because, I mean, this guy, it's unbelievable.
Get him, Sam.
I stutter. I say and And this guy can't even get out the basic premise of what he's trying to talk about, which, of course, is also a lie. Yeah. First of all, what makes a Ponzi scheme is that you're pretending to make investments. And instead of actually making investments,
thanks, Ali,
you're paying out people from the new investors you're taking in. Now, at one point, somebody's going to get wise to this, because if all the people say, hey, I want my money out now, you're in big trouble. And that's what your prerogative. That's what happened to Madoff. That's what happened to Sam Israel. I mean, this is what happens with Ponzi schemes. Social Security is not a Ponzi scheme, because there are very clear times when you can take your money out. You need to be near retirement age, near full retirement age, early retirement age, or late retirement age. And we will never run out of, this is not an investment, it's insurance. Insurance also the same thing, right? Like, right. It's similar dynamic. We will never run out of people paying into the system unless there's some type of like nuclear event or like space invaders come down and eliminate everybody, because the law.
Please let the space invaders come down. Please.
Oh my God. I don't even care if it's like the aliens
gotta keep
Alien. Just
paying into the system until you
let
get
it happen.
Or from when Mars attacks.
Yeah, like just clean slate some stuff.
Oh, Thanos, we need you.
To retirement age. And now he's going into, well, there's all these unfunded liabilities. In other words, if all these people, who are alive today, born just in this moment, turn 65, it's going to be 67 now for anybody born today, certainly. It's 67 for me.
I was 10 years off.
Turn 67, we don't have the money to pay them out. Now, right now, in fact, the way that the system...
Scott says Spock needs to come save the whales.
system works, we have a slush fund called the trust fund that was designed in 1983 to deal with the baby boomers. And then everybody gets paid out 83 to 85%. That's an intermediate assessment, right? There's a... things could be much better. Things could be worse. That's the middle assessment. And this is going to end in 2035, that trust fund. But what he's describing is even more dire for every other thing in our budget. Because today is March 3rd. On March 15th, you know how much of the Defense Department is funded? Zero. Do you know how much the FBI is?
Talk about that.
Yeah.
The government's headed for a shutdown, and boy, nobody seems to care this time.
Mm-hmm.
It's funded zero.
The Republicans have taken zero action. The Democrats have tried to negotiate something, but it fell apart. So,
it's all getting turned off.
We got 10 days until it all just gets turned off.
The USDA, zero. The EPA, zero. None of it. There is no budget for any of it.
And that doesn't mean they are Ponzi schemes.
No. They are not Ponzi schemes. We anticipate that Congress, at one point, the Republicans will get their act together and be able to pass a budget, or even just like say, we're just going to keep using the old budget from last year until we come up with a new one. Social Security is, in fact, the most funded liability that we have associated with our government whatsoever. As of March 17th, there are $0 budgeted for our defense. I mean, if everybody believed that was the case, we were running around, oh my God, we're going to be attacked by Mexico. It's going to invade us. Canada, they've been setting the groundwork. They've been booing our anthem. They're signaling they're going to cross the border. I mean, nobody's doing that because, of course, we know that that Congress.
Please, Canada. Please, Mexico. Please.
We'll budget it.
You heard Canada today. They said, go fuck yourself.
No, come on.
Congress has the ability to raise taxes and lower taxes, and they could easily.
Why won't you love us?
Easily raise the tax on Social Security. It wouldn't affect anybody. Here's the thing. It wouldn't affect anybody making less than $176,000.
Yep.
Because you are already paying that tax. It would only affect people making more than $176,000. Maybe, based upon whose idea it has, it wouldn't affect anybody making less than $400,000. And they could just,
this is what I was
tomorrow, we're just going to create that donut hole, or we're just going to blow out the cap, and then all of this is just nonsense, what he's saying.
Right. And then you could essentially not have to worry about any of that. But it's a part of mandatory spending. We already have the mechanism via the payroll tax to fund all of this. So unless he's saying that we're going to just completely obliterate the way we've been doing taxation under Social Security for almost 100 years, or I guess also Medicare is a part of it as well, right? Then that would be like the dire circumstances that he's described. But as long as we still have the payroll tax, it's going to be funded. You'll still get over 80% of your benefits. He's creating this kind of anxiety, and Republicans have always been doing this because they don't want to raise taxes on the wealthy. This could be solved, and we could even increase benefits under Social Security if we obliterated the cap.
Yep.
So
no cuts. Four words. No cuts. Raise taxes.
Right.
Who's the face down there?
Producer.
Far. Have you ever looked at the debt clock?
Yes.
Okay. There's our present day debt.
But do you know what it means?
But do you understand debt?
No.
Then there's our future obligations. So when you look at the future obligations of Social Security, the actual national debt is like double what people think it is because of the future obligations.
So stupid.
Yes, you are.
So basically, people are living way longer than expected.
Oh, pause it. Wait a second. Okay. So he's just shifted now. He just shifted dramatically.
Yeah.
If you have a car payment, if anybody listening to me has a car payment, has a mortgage, has a credit card bill, has even, let's say, you get cable television, or you have a subscription to Hulu.
That's me.
You have unfunded liabilities in the future.
Oh my God.
That means that you owe this.
I can't with this Elon Musk. I don't listen. First of all, the government debt is not the same.
No.
As your credit card, my credit card, a mortgage payment, it's not the same thing.
It is though.
It's different.
But it's money.
It's imaginary. We made it up. It's the way the federal government has a balance sheet, and like let's say a corporation has a balance sheet. They're not the same. These unfunded liabilities he's talking about is not the same as, like, let's say you have a business and you took out like a $10,000 loan to do something, and now you have to make payments, and it's an unfunded liability at this point because you don't have the income to make it back. It's not the same. It's just not. Social Security is not an unfunded. Sam said the same thing. It's we're already paying into it with the Social Security tax on your paycheck.
We're
already paying into it. It's not a Ponzi scheme. It is a general fund for retirement payments because you paid money into it and you're getting money back out. It's part of mandatory spending, which means it already has its own rules and regulations. It can't be changed.
Tim, it's just a Ponzi scheme set up by the Democrats.
To keep people out of poverty. To keep people out of absolute poverty. If Social Security didn't exist right now, most of our elderly would be desperately poor and homeless.
Eating cat food.
Or living in their children or grandchildren's houses. Which is what they did before Social Security existed. Because we don't know how to treat our elderly correctly. That's what's going on here, is Elon Musk doesn't care about the old. He doesn't care about old people, and he doesn't care about sick people.
They should be millionaires, and then they wouldn't have to worry about it.
We are just resources to him. We're NPCs, for those of you who get the lingo. We're just there to provide him with his stuff so he can go to the fucking moon. And we should just put him in a rocket and send him to the moon.
He wants to go to Mars.
Mars. Fuck, just do it.
Just go.
Listen, NASA, get your best rocket, because Elon's are shit. and send him to Mars. He can live on Mars by himself for the rest of his life. I don't care.
It's money. You have a mortgage. You owe that money. But you say, well, I have a job. On one hand, you have all these liabilities facing you. I owe $150,000 on my mortgage. Oh my God. Oh my God. I owe $150,000 on my mortgage. But the good news is I will keep my job. And I will pay that mortgage. When Musk says there are unfunded liabilities, twice the size of the debt clock, he is not acknowledging that on the other side is all of the American workers who will be paying in to the Social Security system. He's ignoring that because he just got caught trying to change the subject from why don't we have regulations on crypto, and then when he sees that Rogan is sitting there going like, wait a second, what does that mean?
Making
There's
weird
all this
noises.
unfunded. So go back a little bit. You'll see that he then changes tact and says, oh, people are living longer. You know who else has figured out that people are living longer? The actuarials who work, or the actuaries who work at the Social Security Administration. In fact, they knew back in 1983 that there was a baby boom and there was going to be more people retiring. And they can look at all the data. You don't have to be a magical genius.
Wait a minute, you're trying to tell me that these people know what they're doing?
Well, here's the other side of this, is they want to get rid of the payroll taxes. So they want to get rid of the tax on Social Security and on Medicare and on like parental leave if you have that in your state. Like they want to get rid of all that. They want to get rid of income tax because they don't want businesses to pay it, so the businesses can save more money. So the reason why they're going after Social Security is they want to stop funding it.
Right.
They want to stop funding Medicare. They want to stop funding whatever other things are going on, whatever the payroll taxes pay for. That's the real thing that he's not saying, is that we don't want to pay for this anymore. And he thinks he's going to save the government money by dismantling Social Security. But he's just going to put an entire section of our population into absolute poverty.
Don't employers have to like match, or don't they have like the same amount of your tax that they have to pay as well? So so if we just get rid of all of it, just imagine the savings I'll be making when I don't have to pay. I don't have to match what my employee is paying into the Social Security program. And I'll take all that money and it will trickle down, Tim.
They want to take all the burden off of employers paying for anything and put it entirely on the citizens. Well, you'll save a little bit of money because you won't have to pay income tax, but the tariffs plus, they're probably going to do a VAT tax and plus, the health insurance you're going to have to pay for completely on your own. All that stuff is going to add up. People are going to be end up spending way more money than they did before just to live.
Just for the same shit that we've already had. We already had all this.
For cheaper from the government.
Genius to say people are living longer. And also, to be clear, people in the top 50 percentile of income distribution are living longer. People in
personally, they want the power of government without the responsibility of governing. Right.
Yeah.
They just want to be rule changers. They don't want to actually govern. They're two very different things.
Bottom 50 percentile are living barely longer.
Right. And notice how, though, like they both, he talks essentially about how Social Security, it's in trouble, and that's why we have to do all of this. Okay, here's like the simple reason: you can raise taxes. Oh, well, no, it's a Ponzi scheme then. So they both insist on how important Social Security is, but also how we basically how precarious it is at the same time. You could just do the simple solution if you really cared about it, but that's not what he cares about. He cares about getting rich.
So when you look at the future obligations of Social Security, the actual national debt is like double what people think it is because of the future obligations.
It's just so dumb and wrong.
Basically, people are living way longer than expected.
People are living way longer than expected?
There are fewer
Excuse me, what? What?
It's those 150
What? What? We expected when?
Damn, let us get through the clip. God.
I think it was Matt that says, like, yeah, it's all those 150-year-olds. Like, yeah. They've been on Social Security for 93 years.
Expected in the 700s? Like, you telling me that people didn't anticipate people would be living longer? Isn't the whole point of society? Isn't it the point of all of society that we've anticipating? Like, if anything, we have underestimated how life expectancy hasn't been shared across the board. I mean, this is one of the most obvious things in the world. If we have better hygiene, better medicine, better nutrition, life expectancy will continue. Better medicine to deal with things. Like, this is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard anybody assert who has the ability to show up at a location on time. Now, maybe he was late to this interview and maybe he needed a driver and he has a handler to do this. But this guy, it's unbelievable. Like, you can't even come up with a good fake argument. Nobody expected longevity, like people to live longer.
Again, our life expectancy fell.
Aside from the fact that our life expectancy has fallen. Now, I don't know if it's fallen since the age of 65. In other words, you can measure life expectancy at the time of birth, which often is problematic. It's a lot of times like, now life expectancy at the time of birth has actually gone down a little bit because of these abortion bans. We're finding that more children are born who have no ability to actually live past a few hours, past a few weeks. And then we also seeing an uptick in people die in their 20s and 30s and 40s because of...
Yeah, Russell says it perfect there. By that logic, everything I'll spend to live the rest of my life is a debt I have now. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Of suicide because of...
Hi, Dave.
Violence because of opioids. Now, if you get to 65, those numbers go up again for people who have not had to work in physical labor for the most part in their life. But so everything he's saying is just absolute gobbledygook. There's been... to opine on this stuff and to have had zero intellectual curiosity, and even with his horrible agenda, to have not done even enough work to tell a good lie about it is just sad. Go back a little bit.
All right, Sam, let's see if you can make it.
National debt is like double what people think it is. because of the future obligations. So
we need to pull that.
Basically, people are living way longer than expected, and there are fewer babies being born. So you have more people who are retired and get that live for.
Okay, now he's talking about worker to retiree ratio.
All right, this is
now
the last
here's
one.
the thing. When it started, it was like 450 workers to one retiree.
Right.
Now, guess why that might be? Because you just instituted the program. So let's look at 1975, for instance. It was like 3.5 workers to every retiree, and now it's 2.5. What has happened during that time is the productivity of workers has increased. So the output that they're doing has increased, and they've paid more into Social Security. The difference is, however, from the 1980s to now, is that wealth inequality has expanded. So when you have a cap and you just limit the Social Security taxes to the first 176, it goes up. The first 176,000 that is earned, there are people who are so wealthy that they are hoarding like measurable percentages of all the wealth that is earned, all the wages that are earned in this country, and they're hoarding that money, and that money is no longer touched by the Social Security tax. So if you had 10 people and they're all making $176,000, all of that money would be taxed. But if you have one person who's making $5 million and one person who's making 176 in a room or 150 in a room, and the rest are making $5,000, all of a sudden only the 176 plus the 8 people making $5,000 gets taxed, and the guy who's got $5 million, his 176 is taxed, but then the rest of the money is outside of that taxation.
And we'll start the discussion there. So I mean, it would be crazy if wages matched inflation, right? Like, it would be so crazy. Like, we wouldn't have this conversation if wages kept up. Even with the millionaires and the billionaires doing their hustle job, if more people were earning what was actually what the pay that they're entitled to, probably wouldn't even bring it up. This would probably be a conversation for 20, 30 years from now. But the simple fact that people are barely making it on higher productivity, it says something. People are doing, the American people are doing more work than they have ever done. And the wealth gap is bigger than it's ever been. Am I missing something?
Well, I mean, Sam brings up a good point, and I was trying to say, I think I said the same thing earlier, is that, the cap on the Social Security tax is not very high, according to today's median incomes and stuff like that. Like, if you wanted to raise that, you double the cap. If it's 160, make it 300.
Yeah.
And bam, problems have been solved at that point.
Yeah.
There's no reason that millionaires shouldn't be paying more into Social Security.
What? Why can't they? Why can't they? They have it.
Honestly, there's gonna come a point, and it's probably gonna come rather soon, where people are going to realize that all these tax cuts and all these loopholes and these cutouts for corporations and billionaires and all that is not helping anybody. Trickle down economics doesn't work. It never has.
Never meant to.
And the rich people are gonna fucking what did Keith Olbermann say? They'll sit on their money no matter if the rest of the country starves. Elon Musk is not going to give you a penny that he doesn't have to give you. He's going to take as much as he can, even though he's the richest motherfucker there is. So, I don't get why we treat the rich so well in this country. I don't understand it. I never have. I understand it's like late stage capitalism or whatever, but they need to be taxed. They need to be taxed. They need to be taxed like they were during the 50s and the 60s. It's ridiculous not to tax them at a high rate.
So as a percent,
sorry,
it's causing our country great economic harm. And the reason why we have this huge debt, this huge deficit, is because we're not taking enough tax revenue in. Government spending has not grown that much. It really hasn't. And when they find out after they cut everything that, oh, well, it wasn't that much. Like all the federal employees, every single one, if you fired everyone who worked for the government today, that's 5% of spending.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to cut somewhere, I would start with the Defense Department and the Pentagon.
No.
That's probably where you're going to get the most savings because we give them almost $1 trillion. And after this budget, they will get over $1 trillion. But other than that, USAID was 60 billion?
Right.
That's a
for the
that's
whole
a drop
world.
in the bucket. For the whole world.
All of our good deeds that we do around the world, the whole of it was 60 billion.
They can go around and claim that they've saved as much money as they want. It's not going to make any difference in deficit spending or in the debt. And they already know that. That's why they're going to raise the debt ceiling another $4.5 trillion. Because they know that they're going to incur more debt with their tax cuts. That they're like, oh, our economists say it'll bring in money. It's not. Because you're also dismantling the IRS. There's no scenario here where the country is making any money. You're just gutting the government, cutting taxes, and letting the rich run away with everything, while everyone else gets fucked over by the tariffs.
Well, then they should just buy American, Tim.
Oh, yeah, they should buy American. That always works out.
It would be one thing if we had an infrastructure full of American products for everybody to buy, but we don't. We really don't.
We learned nothing from COVID. Our just-in-time supply chain for everything.
Right. We have breaking news from Canada.
We have some breaking news coming in. Canadian
no.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau speaking right now after the U.S. slapped Canada with 25% tariffs. Let's listen.
So today, the United States launched a trade war against Canada, their closest partner and ally, their closest friend. At the same time, they're talking about working positively with Russia, appeasing Vladimir Putin, a lying, murderous dictator. Make that make sense. Canadians are reasonable, and we are polite, but we will not back down from a fight. Not when our country and
Bars. He's spitting. Canadians are, what do you say, respectful and polite, but we don't back down from a fight. He's trying to win again.
but we will not back down from a fight. Not when our country is polite. Canadians are reasonable.
Hold on,
and we are polite.
I'm trying to get it for the soundboard here.
Canadians are reasonable.
Damn it.
That makes sense. Canadians are reasonable, and we are polite. But we will not back down from a fight. Not when our country and the well-being of everyone in it is at stake. At the moment, the U.S. tariffs came into effect in the early hours of this morning, and so did the Canadian response.
Dave says you did not say Canada. Dude, I don't have a lot going for me right now, okay? Can I have that? Damn.
Can we just say Canada?
Just one time? Shit.
Hey, we're not saying 51st state. It's
Right.
all, you know.
And if you want to do something about it, why don't you come down here and invade us and make me part of a fucking province? If I just keep mocking you, maybe you'll let me join.
Canada.
It's like the girl in class where you keep pulling her pigtails because you like her.
will be implementing 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods, starting with tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods immediately and tariffs on the remaining $125 billion of American products in 21 days' time. Should these tariffs not cease, we are in active and ongoing discussions with provinces and territories to pursue several non-tariff measures. Measures which will demonstrate that there are no winners in a trade war. Now, just like I did a month ago, I want to speak first directly to the American people. We don't want this.
Wait.
We want to work with you as a friend and ally. And we don't want to see you hurt either. But your government has chosen to do this to you. As of this morning, markets are down, and inflation is set to rise dramatically all across your country. Your government has chosen to put...
Is he warming us up to say, come on up north of the border, all you smart, intelligent,
man.
beautiful Americans? You don't have to take
Right.
that kind of shit. You can come up here to Canada. We'll treat you right. Is that what he's saying? I hope that's what he's saying.
I'm hoping that's what he's saying.
Because he should say that. Because we would come up there. Shit, phrasing.
American jobs at risk, at the thousands of workplaces that succeed because of materials from Canada or because of consumers in
George.
Canada, or both. They've chosen to raise costs for American consumers on everyday essential items like groceries and gas, on major purchases like cars and homes, and everything in between.
Oh, man, we can't even
They've
live in our
chosen to
cars no
harm
more. They're going to be too
American
expensive.
national security, impeding access to the abundant critical minerals, energy, building materials, and fertilizers that we have and that the United States needs to grow and prosper. They've chosen to launch a trade war that will, first and foremost, harm American families. They've chosen to sabotage their own agenda that was supposed to usher in a new golden age for the United States. And they've chosen to undermine the incredible work we've done together to tackle the scourge that is fentanyl, a drug that must be wiped from the face of the earth. So on that point, let me be crystal clear. There is absolutely no justification or need whatsoever for these tariffs today. Now, the legal pretext your government is using to...
We're unifying the world against us.
Dude, what the fuck?
I'm getting serious vibes of like, it's fucking on America.
Yeah. The heat has been official. Like, the gas has been like, click, 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 click.
Yeah.
Whoosh. Like, I
Yeah,
think the whoosh is coming.
We're creating like a world order against America, and it doesn't feel good.
It doesn't even help us.
Bring in these tariffs is that Canada is apparently unwilling to help in the fight against illegal fentanyl. Well, that is totally false. Let's look at the facts.
Oh, shit.
Our border is already safe and secure. Far less than 1% of fentanyl flows and less than 1% of illegal crossings into the United States comes from Canada. But we acted because we know we can always do better.
Damn.
We responded to concerns, including from the president, by implementing an ambitious $1.3 billion border plan. A border plan.
That's how much gas about to be. 1.3 billion US dollars. We're going to have wheelbarrows of money to buy a loaf of bread. God damn it.
Pull your car with a horse.
Horse sales are up. Car sales are down.
And that includes generational investments in new AI and imaging tools to stop the flow of fentanyl in its tracks, stronger coordination and information sharing with American agencies, along with the deployment.
Well, those agencies are gone too, so.
Yeah, what American agencies?
Yeah, how are you going to we want to stop fentanyl from coming in, but also all you are fired.
helicopters and additional personnel to keep our border secure. Now, a month ago, as part of an agreement with the United States that paused the tariffs, we made further commitments. We appointed Kevin Brasseau as our fentanyl czar, a man who dedicated his multi-decade career in law enforcement to combating organized crime networks and drug trafficking.
Hey, Tim, real quick, did you hear that Trump pardoned the Silk Road guy?
The Silk Road guy?
Do you know what the Silk Road is? It was like a website app thing.
Oh, yes.
Trump pardoned him.
Good. I mean, that sounds like something Trump would do.
Tell me more about how fentanyl is a problem after you just literally pardoned the biggest drug dealer who tried to have an entire family murdered online.
Yeah, he's out there just pardoning all the criminals, so.
We designated 7 drug cartels, sick, evil groups who cynically profit off the pain and suffering of people on both sides of the border, as the terrorist organizations that they are. And just yesterday, we launched a new joint operations partnership supported by a $200 million investment between Canada's security and law enforcement agencies. A partnership that will enhance the coordination of information.
That just turned into Border Patrol. They're going to not let us sneak over the border now, Tim. God
I know,
damn
right?
it. We can't even get out. Fuck.
Can't even sneak into Canada.
What if we dress like meese?
I think, all right, Mikey, here's what we're going to have to do.
I'm listening.
You got to come here.
Okay.
We'll take because I live on the coast, right? We'll take a boat from here to Ollie's Island.
Ah, yes. They'll never
That's
see
how
us
we'll
coming.
get into Canada.
One if by land, two if by sea.
In order to thwart criminal gangs involved in the illegal fentanyl trade. And critically, our actions are working. As the U.S. Customs and Border Protection just acknowledged, there was a 97.
Hey, he heard his mic crackling and smacked it and started working again. Yo, shout out to Trudeau. As an audiophile, I appreciate the shit out of that.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection just acknowledged there was a 97% drop in fentanyl seizures from January compared to December, to a near zero low of less than half an ounce seized in January, even with all the further enforcements and actions we've taken at the borders. In sum, we stepped up. We engaged closely and constructively with the president and his administration. We did everything we promised. We stuck to our word.
Oh. Man.
And we did it because we believe in working together to protect our citizens.
Bummer.
Now I want to speak directly to one specific American. Donald.
Who is it, me?
In the over 8 years you and I have worked together.
Oh my God, dude, we're going to have to fucking switch to the metric system.
I know. We're going to have to switch to the metric system. We're going to have to calculate everything in Celsius now.
Ugh, gross. Gross. It's going to be like 20 degrees outside.
All the time. Or negative something all the time.
We've done big things. We signed a historic deal that has created record jobs and growth in both of our countries. We've done big things together on the world stage, as Canada and the U.S. have done together for decades, for generations. And now we should be working together to ensure even greater prosperity for North Americans in a very uncertain and challenging world.
All right, Dave's losing over there. He said metric, like the new metric calendar, 10 months, 100 days per month. That's a 1,000-day year. I guess we'd all get younger.
Yeah, we'd all get a lot younger. It would be
it's
like
not
the
in my
year,
habit.
like,
Oh yeah,
Let's see.
1845 or something, where they skipped it.
something like that,
Or
yeah.
14 something, where they just like went up 11 years.
To agree with the Wall Street Journal. But Donald, they point out that even though you're a very smart guy, This is a very dumb thing to do.
Ooh.
We two friends
You don't want
fighting
zero problems,
is
big fella.
exactly what our opponents around the world want to see. And
Yeah,
now,
they already
to my
got the
fellow
Chiron
Canadians.
up. That was fucking great. They were ready.
I won't sugarcoat it. This is going to be tough, even though we're all going to pull together, because that's what we do. We will use every tool at our disposal so Canadian workers and businesses can weather this storm. From expanding EI benefits and making them more flexible to providing direct
They gotta,
supports to businesses.
Weather the storm against us.
God
They have to weather our storm. This
We're
is what
the
I'm talking. They're going to
storm.
make movies about this. We're going to be the villains in the movies from now on. It's not going to be Russia.
Hopefully it'll be a bunch of Texans, you know, because that's like the easiest way for them to like stereotype us is everybody talks like this, y'all.
That's true.
So hopefully,
Either
or hey, I'm walking here.
Yeah, I was going to say either Texans or New Yorkers.
The New York crime gangs.
Oh, I know what it's going to be. Listen. I don't know if you ever saw this episode of the Shody, Mikey, but they did a movie. And the premise of the movie is that all the villains from the 80s movies were Trump or some version of Trump.
They're
like
so good.
The main point was the Super Mario Brothers movie. Both of the villains in the Super Mario Brothers movie are Trump. King Koopa is Trump to a T, and so is Scapelli. I think we're going to go back to that. I think that all the villains in like future movies are going to be some sort of New York real estate magnate, or a New York guy as president, or Elon. Like a billionaire is going to be the big villain in all the movies.
I know
a billionaire is taking over countries.
I know Lex Luthor. I mean, I know a lot of people don't have the stomach to watch The Boys on Amazon Prime. They literally predicted this.
Mm-hmm.
Literally in their last season. Their political satire is like très magnifique. Like it is so good. Oh, it is
chef's kiss.
So good. So good. Boy, oh boy.
We will be there as needed.
And he's letting them know, like, yo, we have to shut up America, so this is going to hurt y'all a little bit, and we're going to do what we can to mitigate the pain.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
They're like
crazy.
They're setting against the charge.
Yeah. Shield wall!
And, right. Like, we're
They're
the
shield
bad,
walling us.
We're the invading Vikings.
Fuck.
Like, we're the bad guys.
They're doing the phalanx against us. Doesn't feel good.
It doesn't.
Doesn't feel good.
To help. But Canada, make no mistake, no matter how long this lasts, no matter what the cost, the federal government and other orders of government will be there for you.
Damn.
We will defend Canadian
Can you imagine
jobs.
what's going to be written in other countries' history books about this? It's going to be wild.
Maybe historians will like when we're old and gray, like, can you tell us about the collapse in 2025? Can you tell us your firsthand accounts? I should keep a journal so that when they dig us up in 100 years, they can look.
No.
This one left a journal of what happened in the past.
Listen, man, it's going to be look, on the other side of this. It's going to be good memoir stuff.
Man, I don't want to live through no fucking event. I just want to get a house.
But I'm just saying, man, like there's going to be like in Canadian textbooks for history, going to be like the Great American Trade War, you know, like
the Great American Betrayal.
Right. And then there's going to be a little blurb in there about how Trump betrayed Ukraine, supposedly their ally. Like, this is fucked up. We're living in fucked up history times.
Like this is far too eventful for my liking. Far too eventful.
We will take measures to prevent predatory behavior that threatens Canadian companies.
They're already on top of the price gouging.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they are ready. They are ready. That's what they've been talking about the last couple of months.
Because of the impacts of this trade war, leaving them open to takeovers. We will...
We call it the idiocracy period. Thank you, Dave.
relentlessly fight to protect our economy. We will stand up for Canadians every single second of every single day, because this country is worth fighting for.
And this country is taking Americans in who are not crazy MAGAs.
Speeches against America, saying that our country is worth fighting for, against America. And it's not like we fucked over that country with, like, we invaded their country for a war or something. Like, we've been the bad guy in the past, but now it's like Canada. Canada is the one saying we must rise up against America,
or we won't have a country left.
I think at some point Trudeau's going to say, hey, America, don't you remember the Geneva Conventions are because of us, of what we did to other people?
Maybe we shouldn't sneak over there, Tim. Maybe that's a bad idea. They might think we're invading. Like,
they had to create rules of war because of Canada.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe the boat's a bad idea. They might have fucking mines out there. Or even worse, highly trained orcas.
Les derniers mois.
Okay, now he's going to the French part. I saw something else on the side here.
Like he basically said, America, fuck around and find out.
Oh, we're finding out.
We read in Politico that Ontario Premier Doug Ford threatened to shut off his province's electricity exports to the United States and block shipments of Ontario's high-grade nickel, which he said provides 50% of U.S. supplies. This is per the Globe and Mail. He added, if they want to try to annihilate Ontario, I will...
Oh, my God. I didn't know we got half our nickel from them. What are y'all
Yeah, that's
doing?
what that guy was saying in the other one, the Ontario guy.
Yeah, he's back.
He said, I'll cut off their energy with a smile on my face.
Shit. Oh my God.
And I'm sure we're going to get the same sort of stuff from Mexico. Those speeches are coming in any moment.
She said, I'll hit you up on Sabado. I'm busy right now. I'm busy with my 80% approval rating. I don't have time to deal with this asshole. I'll hit him on the weekend. Fuck.
Including cutting off their energy. This is energy to the United States with a smile on his face. With us now is the man, I guess, behind that smile, Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario in Canada. Premier, thank you so much for being...
Ton says, so Tommy, on the 13th of September, the American quote-unquote president showed he was a boob. And we all said, America's gone wild. September.
Not September.
That's when they have their elections.
Lousy smarch weather. This guy over here is like, I know exactly where to stick the knife.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll happily do it.
He's like Dexter. He's like an anatomist.
With this, okay, what are your plans and how far are you willing to take it?
Well, first of all, I have to tell you, Canadians love Americans. We love the U.S. It's one.
Hey, we love you too, man. We love you. We love you too, dude.
Person that's causing these problems. I've talked to senators and congresspeople and governors, Republicans and Democrats. Not one of them agree with them. I've talked to business CEOs of the largest companies. They totally disagree with this. And President Trump ran on a mandate to lower costs, to create more jobs. This is going to do exactly the opposite. The auto sector, we buy over 400% more autos than Mexico, 200% more than anywhere in the world. And, you know, he put up a smoke screen. He keeps moving the goalposts. Well, the market is speaking loud and clear. The market is going to go downhill faster than the American bobsled team, and we're going to continue seeing...
Hey, no jokes, please.
In the U.S., plants close, assembly lines shut down. In the auto sector, they may last 5, maybe 8 days before the parts that go back and forth across the border 8 times. This is unnecessary. and we do have to retaliate. And I apologize to the American people. It's not you. It's your president that's causing this problem. We're the #1 customer in the world to the United
It's like your parents get divorced and they're like, son, it's not your fault. It's our fault that we have to do this to you.
Look, I know you didn't want to change schools again, but but your dad is a real piece of shit. And
listen, you'll still come over on the weekends.
Oh, Canada, can we come over for the weekends? Please?
United States. We had a great relationship. I want to continue on with that relationship, but I will use every tool in our toolbox.
We're sorry for Kendrick Lamar. We love Drake. Please don't do this.
Yeah, no, we'll tell Kendrick to like just chill out.
To send a message to President Trump that this is the wrong thing to do. When Warren Buffett comes out and says this is basically insanity, you have to listen to someone like Warren Buffett.
So some of the thinking inside the administration goes something along the lines of, in the United States, we can withstand more pain than you can in Canada. So how much pain can you withstand here?
Well, we have the lowest debt in the G7. The United States have more debt than anyone. He wants to come and get a tax break, put a tax break through. He's relying on 2 Congress people. He loses 2 people. That's it. These tax breaks aren't going. And he's doing this on the backs of the American people. He's going to create job losses. Inflation's going up. The market's dropping. Gas prices are going up.
I'd also like to note his background there.
Yeah.
You see, Canada is not for, like, he's all about, like, they're literally have slogans against us.
They have to defend themselves against us.
Like, this is,
they've been financially threatened, intentionally threatened by their ally.
so this is, it's very Hobbesian. Because, so Hobbes' theory about power is that eventually someone becomes so strong that everyone else has to rally against them.
Yeah.
And I think that we're creating that Hobbesian power vacuum. And it's really bad. It's so bad.
Would Kamala Harris been so bad? Would it have been so bad? They could have impeached her. You know, they could have done other things. Like, would it have been so bad?
Tons of Mice says, your dad and I just grew apart, and then the bastard started seeing a new country, that whore Russia, but it's not you.
God, it's like no. This stripper loves me, son. So that's why you're gonna come move over to my little 1-bedroom over here. Because champagne sparkles, she's a keeper.
Groceries are going up for what?
She just wants your money, dude. She doesn't love you.
We have a very fair trading balance. And if we exclude the energy, the oil that we ship down 4.3 million barrels a day to keep cars going, the U.S. has a $55 billion surplus on everything else, on manufacturing. And I'm fine with that. 55 billion is fine. But we're your #1 customer to 28 states. Have directed our office to take off all the alcohol. We're the largest purchaser of alcohol in the world. We sell to 30, we buy from 35 states, 3,600 products, over $1 billion. They're coming off. We directed our team to pull off the $30 billion of contracts and not use any American companies. And again, I apologize.
Stripper fine, but don't let glitter in your house. Once it's there forever. Facts.
The American people, but the red states, the people have to start calling their senators, their governors, and Congress people to stop this insanity that one person's causing.
What do you understand the demands to be? On the one hand, we've heard over the last few weeks it's cracking down on the border, going after fentanyl distribution. Now the president's saying he wants much of the manufacturing returned to the United States. What do you think the ask is?
Well, you can't, in the auto sector, and no one knows what the ask is. It depends on what he wakes up and eats in the morning, and that changes. The auto...
No, that doesn't change. It's a Big Mac every morning.
Yeah, a Big Mac and a Diet Coke.
sector. You can't unscramble an egg that's been made since the 1960s in the auto pack and expect plants to just open up. We buy as many cars as we sell down to the U.S. It's been working. It's a great system that we have right now with all the auto sectors, but it'll only last 8 to maybe 10 days at the max, and then you're going to see auto plants being shut down. I wish we knew what the president wanted. We need to sit down and move forward on the USMCA and put this behind us.
I just got to ask you, very...
Bill in chat says Canada to join EU. Damn it.
Briefly, how upset, how mad are Canadians? Canadians aren't usually the types to get angry, but how mad are Canadians this morning?
They're absolutely livid. They're furious because we look at the United States as our family. We're one big family. We've stood shoulder to shoulder.
Oh, we're the fucking uncle that steals shit. That's what we are. God damn it.
And wars and every other crisis there is. We love the American people, but unfortunately, the president has gone sideways on ourselves. And, we power, Ontario powers 1.5 million homes and businesses in New York, in Michigan, in Minnesota. I've talked to all 3 governors. I want to ship more electricity. I want to send more critical
lights on Mark.
Yeah, Mark's about to be having a generator out back.
But I will not hesitate to use every tool in our toolbox to protect Ontarians and Canadians across the board. I've never seen patriotism run so wild across our country. Right down to the grocery aisles, people refuse to buy American products. This is not right. We love America, we love the people, and the president needs to be stopped. Simple as that.
Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario and Canada, we do appreciate your time. Thank you for being with us. Again, we continue to watch the U.S. markets now off their lows by a little bit, but still dropping precipitously after the...
Yeah, it's not great. We're going to be the villains in the history book of what Trump was president and then we became the bad guy.
This is so embarrassing.
To Canada. Canada, the country that has gone along with every crazy fucking thing we've ever done.
And he's doing this over fentanyl, which doesn't exist, dude. It does, the problem that he was quoting isn't even a fucking problem. Everyone's shown him that it's not actually a problem and that you're making this up. He's like, nope, you're getting 25% on an ally that isn't doing what you're saying it's doing is buck wild.
Yeah.
At this point, he is deliberately crashing the economy. It is deliberate. And whether it's Vaughn or Bannon or Miller that's gotten his ear and told him this shit, this is intentional destruction of our economy. Intentional.
And like I said before, these tariffs, they're not going to create the tax income that the United States government needs to function. They're not going to come anywhere near paying off any kind of debt.
No.
You're not going to generate enough money. And it's just going to make everyone who isn't making $1 million a year poor. 25% is a lot.
That's huge.
And if Canada suddenly decides, well, maybe you don't need all this oil anymore, that's going to be a problem.
Impeach him.
Who?
Republicans
Who's gonna
need to impeach him. Or good luck getting back home to your fucking district ever. Because those people will be out there waiting for your ass. You better impeach him. You better call the 25th Amendment in and be like, oh, you know what? He is crazy. So sorry, y'all. Just kidding. He's out of here now. We'll resume things as normal. Just kidding.
Once again, the Democrats either need to not show up to this joint session of whatever Trump is going to talk about. They need to either boycott it entirely, or they need to show up and do something to grab the national attention.
Wave Canadian and Ukrainian flags. Just be waving them.
Oh, yes. Dress up in Canadian flag colors.
There you go.
Have the Maple, just everyone just have a Maple Leafs jersey.
A hockey jersey.
Hockey jersey.
Wear a
Everyone
hockey
needs
jersey from your state. There you go. That's what they should do. They should all wear hockey jerseys from their state.
Because they need to do something that's a bold message, which they've been avoiding up until this point. As a whole, I've seen like 2 senators and 3 House members. One of them is Jasmine Crockett, who is like
That's my girl.
a star in this. That's it. Like every other Democrat is just sitting on a fucking fence waiting for something to happen. I don't know what they're waiting for. Hakeem Jeffries today said some dumb shit again.
He needs to go. Like everyone says, "Oh, Mikey, you're so reactive and you just freak out all the time." No, I know what the fuck I'm talking about sometimes. And one thing I'm good at is recognizing leadership or a lack thereof. He is not a leader. On day uno, he says, "Well, what do you want me to do? I don't have any leverage." You need to leave. If you're a quitter and you're a whiner and you want to like bitch and moan, then leave. No one is forcing you to stay in office. Go home.
Yeah.
If you're scared to fight, go home. You're not serving anybody by sitting there and capitulating and just whinging and saying, "Well, what are we going to do about donors?"
Yeah,
Dumb shit.
We don't have the leverage or the fucking... God, they always hire the wrong person to be the chair of the
He tried to push a
DNC.
book he's selling. At one of those press conferences, he tried to sell a book.
Yeah. And I saw him say that, like, oh, well, there are good billionaires who give us money too, and we like them. It was like, no, we're done with the billionaires. Stop it with the billionaires. We're done with that.
Why are you trying to go get more money when you have a job to do right now? Right now.
You're the chair of the DNC. Just organize people. That's your job. I get that your job is fundraising, but maybe you should focus on not fundraising from billionaires.
You don't need any money to do what needs to be done. Congress needs to act. Now, bring up the 25th Amendment. Bring up impeachment. Make it the forefront of everything. It's like we're going to come out here on the steps of Congress every day with impeachment and signs so that it gets into the news. And then we're going to go to all of these Republicans' districts. Even if it's not my district, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to have my own town hall. And I'm going to talk to these people in this red state. It's like, your guy won't stop him from doing this. What are you going to do about it?
I think we need to do this in a way like they did in Vermont, where J.D. Vance was fucking skiing or whatever, and they just protested him the entire time he was there.
Yeah.
Like, it's to the point where these people need to be uncomfortable wherever they go.
Yes. Because the American people are uncomfortable everywhere right now.
Yeah. They need to know that we're pissed and we're not going to deal with it anymore. That what they're doing is harmful to the country.
Like, just skip this shit. Just take this shit out of your daily life and you'll be just fine. Fruit, vegetables, grain, livestock, poultry, electronics, appliances, cars. Just don't use those in your day-to-day life and none of this. Ow, cat. God damn, son. Shit, what you doing? Got on fucking sweatpants. You trying to hit my damn, what's that? Femoral artery. But this doesn't, and this is what we've been trying to say, and I know a lot of other channels have been trying to say. Dude, it's not about my team beat your team. Look at the shit that's affected. Is this Democrat shit? Democratic fruit, Democratic vegetables? Like, is that what you think this is about? I told you, it's a scam, brother. This is a robbery. They are stealing your shit. They are pissing off your neighbors to try to grift a buck out of them. And now look, it's not working. Talk to your senators, talk to your congresspeople. Say, if you don't invoke the 5th or the 25th on Trump, your ass is out of here.
Yeah, or we don't start impeachment proceedings immediately. Because everything that Trump has tried to do to dismantle government, the way he's done it, is illegal.
Yeah.
So I like Tons of Mice's suggestion. I also made that one. Throw tomatoes. I would be fine with that.
We don't have
Or
any
eggs.
tomatoes.
Throw eggs at him. I know they're like
They should all-
$1 an egg, but
They should all dress up in inflatable egg suits.
I don't care. Like, I don't know, throw that slime stuff at him. I don't care. It's just like,
do something.
Make him miserable. Make the American people think that you care. Because obviously the chuckle fucks on the other side don't care.
Oh, Sunday. What? Oh, Sunday. You drank the Kool-Aid, didn't you? Oh, poor Sunday. Doesn't get it yet. Okay. It'll take a couple days, but it'll get there.
That doesn't make sense.
I know. I was trying to figure out. I was like, maybe I'm reading it wrong, but
it results in less dependency on each other and in turn strengthens each individual economy. The whole point of a country, unless you don't want to live in, if you don't want to live in a society or a country, that's fine. Go be an anarchist somewhere.
Go live in the woods.
Go live in the woods. The entire point of the social contract of any country that functions is that we are all in it together as a society.
Literally on a piece of electronics that's not from here. Like, that's the shit that I don't get. Like, people act like this is just going to be like, okay, we'll have American-made everything. What are you saying? We don't even have... We're just going to start making everything that we have right here tomorrow? We don't even have the factory to make what we need today. We don't even have that stuff. Everyone's so interconnected already. It is the actual example of cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Yeah. And that's individual economies, they just don't work.
Ask Japan.
Ask Japan.
When they stayed isolationist for 150 years and now they have a damn birthing crisis, like, it doesn't work. Why do you think we put sanctions on people to punish them? Because it works. So if we impose sanctions on ourselves, a la Brexit, it doesn't work. It's bad. It's regressive. And these millionaires and billionaires, they're not going to reach down and lift up a couple of good eggs that they found down there that are just so brilliant and smart. They don't fucking care, dude. They don't care.
I want to ask Sunday, because Sunday's pushing back on this now. Being in it together and dependency are entirely different, but I forgot you guys know all. Okay, then what the fuck do you mean, bro? What do you mean dependency? Do you mean like economic independence from other countries? Because fucking good luck with that. That's exactly what Mikey is saying. Like, Trump's shit isn't made in America.
Right. The hats are made in China.
It's all made in China.
Yeah.
Like, your cars are made in 5 different countries and then maybe they're assembled in America.
Right.
The appliances, the same thing. Electronics, fruit and vegetables and grain and livestock we get from all over the world. We don't have enough. If you want us to survive on just American-made products, be my guest.
Good luck.
Because you won't have the fucking computer that you're probably on right now or the phone that you're on right now. That shit's made in Korea.
Or Taiwan.
All the chips are definitely made in Taiwan. Soon to be China. Because China saw what Trump did to Zelensky and was like, you know, that guy's got a point. We could probably just take that shit.
Oh, so here we go. Here it is. We got a tough guy. That's what it is. It's hubris. We were assuming ignorance. We should have been assuming hubris. Canada can't survive without our trade. We can survive without theirs. Are you sure about that?
Yeah. How sure are you about that?
You know, they have a lot smaller population than us. We have 340 million people to feed every day. They do not.
And also, Canada is our biggest trade partner. It's not China.
Correct.
It's Canada. We get the most stuff from them because we share a jillion-mile-long border.
To me, that seems dangerous for Canada. They know the risks.
Trudeau said it.
And he literally just went through the whole thing. So I'd love to see Canada's economy strong enough to survive in the worst scenario.
They'll just join the EU.
And what are we supposed to do? Join Russia? Us and Russia? We're going to get some trade together?
Woohoo.
You think that's going to work? Oh, no. We can't join Russia because we're supposed to be on our own, remember? So we're just supposed to boot everybody out of our country and then just charge them extra if they want to come in and sell stuff. Never mind the fact that someone clearly doesn't understand how tariffs work. So all of the stuff that we do need to bring in is going to cost people even more money. How does that help us? Because again, we do not have the facilities for all of this shit. We don't have it all. If we had it already, that would be a conversation to be had. If we had identical shit to all of the other nations that we do trade with, if we had the exact same thing, this exact same volume, and for the exact same price, sure, you might have an argument. But that's not the case. There's a reason why we get Hanes does their shit in Haiti. Because they pay those people fucking $10 a week to make clothes. In China, they pay people all these reduced prices. So if you're talking about raising the price of everything, getting some union labor in there, and everybody earning a wage, that would be great. But there isn't any money to get that started. So how do you start that without any capital?
Sunday here is coming back and saying that we're calling them isolationists and that we're putting words in their mouths. So if you're not talking about economic isolationism, but you are talking about causing economic harm to other countries to improve our economy for some reason, how does all that work? How does tariffs and trade wars benefit us? Because it didn't benefit us the last time we tried this during the Great Depression and the Hoover administration.
Or when
they
Trump
went
did it on China last time.
Or when Trump did it on China. It doesn't help us. It doesn't help you.
Right.
If you live in America or any of these other countries that are getting tariffed, if there's a trade war going on, there's no winner here.
There is no winner.
And it's not being done for the reason you think it's being done. It's not being done because Trump wants to save American businesses or whatever bullshit he's talking about.
No, it's for fentanyl. He said it's for fentanyl.
Or fentanyl. He's doing it because he wants his corporate friends not to pay income tax.
Correct.
That's the next phase of this, is to get rid of the income tax. And, you'll see a little bit more of your paycheck. Whoopity-doo. But everything else is going to be way more expensive.
If you have
and
a job.
there's probably going to be a VAT tax on you.
I mean, all of our auto workers, this is an assault on our auto workers.
Yeah.
Because this hits them probably the hardest. Between the steel from the steel and nickel from Canada and the parts manufacturing in Mexico, and the fact that we had an open border agreement when it came to trade, and people could just, put them on a train and take them up and down and then drop that engine that they built in Canada straight into something put together in Detroit. Well, that's not going to happen anymore. So what happens to all of those workers who no longer need to go to work because there's nothing for them to do? What about all of the businesses that they went to? And all the stuff all the businesses that they kept afloat with their paycheck? What about their mortgage? How are they going to heat their house?
Sunday saying that we went way overboard.
Oh, cool. No, you just want a vague post in the chat, and then as soon as we address it, and then actually ask you, and then we actually put the spotlight on you, and we say, okay, tell us what you're talking about. And then you say, well, I never said any other. Then what are you saying?
So
just here. No. Hold on. The next thing you should type right now, dude, say what you're trying to say, so that we're not putting words in your mouth. Just say what you're trying to say. Don't say around what you're trying to say. Don't say what you're not trying to say. Say what you're trying to say. And we'll read it, and then you can correct us. Jeez. Let them eat eggs. Nice, tons. We need that on a shirt. Put that on a t-shirt.
Let them eat eggs.
Let them eat eggs.
Fucking $1 per egg.
That's great.
Oh man.
There it is, vague post. See, I knew it. I fucking knew it.
The first one was vague. The one about the silver lining. What the fuck are you talking about? Where's the silver lining?
I literally took 5 to 10 seconds to say, tell us what you're talking about. It says, vague post? See, they don't know. He doesn't know what he wants. Look, dude, if you're nervous about all this, you should be. And if you want to like suck down the hopium as fast as you can, good on you. But the reality is the reality.
Listen, we ain't like a Doomcast, but you know,
I can count.
It's not great.
You know, I can put 2 and 2 together.
There's no I don't see the silver lining. If we're being honest.
There it is. Here we go. Here's the deflection. I asked a question to further clarify your question, but you live in an emotional state. Brother, I just told you. Don't worry about nothing else. Say what you're trying to say. Just say what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
and then we won't take it out of context. Just say it.
Yeah, maybe we were overreacting, but we don't know because we don't know exactly what you're trying to say.
He's the only person in the chat, apparently. We don't have to read everybody else's stuff. It's not like me and you are having a conversation between ourselves. So just say what you're trying to say. Ain't nobody gonna ban you. Ain't nobody kicking you out. You're allowed to say it. Go ahead. Say it. We'll wait.
From Universal Studios Hollywood.
This is Sunday's question. Dexter, I don't know what you want, but the answer is probably no. He has knocked over my super soft pillow that I use.
Trump has threatened more tariffs on Canada now.
He doesn't get it.
He's threatening to tariff airplane, food and beverages, cosmetics, and toiletries on Canada. So he's adding to the list.
Jan, there's only a 2-second lag on this because I set it up that way. We're on very low latency. Most YouTubers have 8 to 10 seconds, not here at the Bin Podcast. I cranked the airwaves so that we can get in there.
Sunday, the only thing that we are asking is that you clarify your statement about the silver lining stuff. That's the only thing we're asking. Because it was vague. That's it. And then we can all move on with our lives.
What little violent lives we have left.
Because if we're constantly taking you out of context, then we would like to know what the context is. It seems that the market has recovered a bit.
Yeah, we're still down at 18,000.
But the trade war is going to continue. Mexico is going to announce its tariffs. Trump's going to super tariff Canada, apparently.
Right.
That is going to be sort of a lot later on in the day, so we'll see what happens.
Let's troll him in the chat.
But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Jesus.
But this is, this is bad. From what you've been hearing for a lot today as well, Ukraine does have weapons.
So
at least it can continue
Sunday
to fight.
says that the silver lining would be Canada finding a way to be less dependent on the U.S. and that we were being very hard-headed.
Continue to fight. We have still, Europe has said we will continue to,
Not what he said, but whatever. Go back and read, because you can't read apparently. Go read what you said previously. Just do a Control F, type in your own name, and go read your own fucking tweets or your own fucking messages, because that's not what you said. So, sorry I read your shit and read it like an adult. And maybe if you were unclear and you got misunderstood, maybe you should consider the way that you communicate.
More than Germany.
Perhaps. What do you say, Tim?
Well, Mikey, I think we should end the show. You know, I really wish YouTube had the thing where you could raid another person's channel, because then we could just
You
raid
can.
fucking Graham.
You can.
You can?
There's like a redirect thing.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's not quite a raid, but.
But anyway, I think that's good enough for me.
Yeah, I gotta go eat. I gotta feed this
Yeah,
baby.
I gotta go do stuff.
And if you guys have any recipes for how to boil shoes, by all means, let us know. Any good shoe recipes?
Yeah, they don't make a lot of leather shoes anymore. You're gonna have to boil some fucking polyester.
Oh, those won't taste anywhere near as good.
Nope.
All right, we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Oh my God, shoe poutine is the next fucking shirt. We've been going for 3 hours, rubber toe. Fuck you.
Yeah, man,
I'll
really
just use my fucking eyes are burning from the fucking lights. I need a break, goddamn.
Come watch us be wrong again on Thursday.
Or how about you fucking subscribe at least?